playful shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's some social shit for everyone, you know what I'm saying? Like, I made this be myself, so hear me. Woo! I mean, like, we can pull that clown shit away. This some real shit for you. I'm spazzing right now, so listen, let's go. Yeah. It's in their bones, the thugs in harmony for the love of the money. Then fall victim for the cookie, then turn pussy, it's lonely. You said you hold it down when life get rough, we're here now, so show me. We move them losses to them wins. Heavy pounds, we make it ends meet. Converse with only a few who make me feel like I be 10 feet.
Yes. Good morning. Big up to your damn selves, guys. Apologies. Yesterday, yes, I know I was supposed to do this stream, but unfortunately, I was a little bit busy. So we are here today. We're here today, man. You guys can see in the caption, you know what we're here to talk about, and that is Liverpool midfield or potential new midfielders we may be able to bring in. Of course, I couldn't do this by myself, so I had to bring the gaffer in. Jerry, before I welcome everybody else into the chat, my bro, how are you, man? How are you?
Morning, guys. How are we doing today? Everyone doing well?
Yeah, not too bad. Good. How's the weather been?
Good.
How's the weather been down where you at?
Not too bad at all, really. Just I'm at home at the moment, so obviously we can get into the discussion, and yeah, well, big up to everyone anyway. My work voice or something, but yeah, big up. Let's get into it, man. Make sure we're smashing a lot of people.
Come on, man, guys. Before we even start, as you guys can obviously see in the chat already, we finally hit that 2K. So first and foremost, I just want to say big up to every single individual who have been with me on this journey. Of course, I can't even say thank you to you guys first without saying thank you to the gaffer, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't even have been on starting my own channel. I wouldn't even have had an intro. I wouldn't have had no outro or nothing.
No. You would have still done it. You would have still done it.
I would have still done it, but it would have been shit. Like, I promise you, it would have been absolutely trash. So 100%, I would just like to say thank you, obviously, to the gaffer himself, Jerry. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, he's just been a massive supporter of the damn channel. So obviously, big up to himself. And also you guys in the chat, man, every single time, whether we argue, whether we disagree, whether we're all laughing, busting jokes, or whatever the case may be, you guys are always still rocking with me over here on GTV. You already know we keep it real as possible, you know what I mean, whilst we're on this channel. So yeah, man, much love, much appreciation. As I said, I would start the membership as soon as I got to 2K. So said, so done. You guys can see it. If you want to support the channel, listen, you know me. I don't care about the super chats. I don't care about any of that kind of stuff. If you just want to support the channel, it's up there. It's the links in the chat anyway for you guys. Hit that link. It's only £2. Less than a cup of coffee than you would get from Starbucks, because them prices are crazy. But yeah, if you guys want to support the channel, I'll have member videos every single month. Of course, I'll do like a hangout, a session. If you want to join the Discord as well, guys, the link is only in the membership, like the membership tab. So make sure you guys obviously head on over there and click that link, man, and we can chop it up, man. We can literally chop it up. All right, now we've got the boring stuff out of the way. Jerry, seeing as you're here, yeah, I've got a question for you. In your opinion, and this is an open general question, so you don't have to make it too specific to Liverpool, is there a midfielder out there that you fucks with? Like, if you had a team, this midfielder has to be in your team. Like, he just has to be there. Like, forget every other player, forget your formation. If there was one midfielder you could pick in world football, who would that be? Tough one, isn't it?
It is a tough one, because giving my midfielder or providing my midfielder, I'm like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'd like this player in my team and stuff. It's always based on what you've got around you. Exactly. What you think the team misses. But when we're talking about if I was just one midfielder and I was starting a team, if I'm being honest, I'm probably going down the Rodri route.
Okay.
Something like that, because ultimately the spine of the team is so important. So I always, like, for me, the way I like to see playing football, if you haven't got a good defensive mid, you can't play in it. Like, you just can't play, because that first phase, you need someone that's really, really good in that position. So I'd probably say Rodri. And another one that I actually put in that category, right? I think he's so underrated for me is Camavinga.
Oh yeah, top baller, top baller.
So for me, I'd go. Rodri's the easy pick. Camavinga's the one that, like, if that's the midfielder that I'm like, oh, this guy's yeah. Left foot, right foot, plays the right pass, dictates tempo, gets on it. You know what I mean? Play at left back, and when players can do that, it shows they've got a bit more about them. They're a bit more, do you know what I mean, multifaceted upstairs. So yeah, man.
No,
How about
that's
yourself?
interesting. No, that's interesting. The fact that you picked Rodri, he would be my kind of pick. But if I didn't go for the easy option, I don't even know if there's really a midfielder out there that I rate that highly. Maybe someone like I like Tonali. I feel like Tonali is someone who I wouldn't mind, like, not even wouldn't mind, like, if I had a midfield, I feel like he would need to be almost a part of that in order to allow, as you say, it's difficult because you don't really know, like, in terms of, I just said, just pick up midfielder and I'm not telling you about the team or anything like that, and etc. etc. I'm just saying pick a midfielder. Tonali is probably one player that features high on my list. I didn't want to. You said Camavinga already. He's another one that's right up there who features high on that list. Valverde is another player, is another midfielder. I think he can play all across the midfield, whether it be I've seen him play left mid, he could do right mid, central midfield, right back, right wing. If I needed him to play there, but I'll go with Tonali. I like Tonali. I think Tonali has a bit of everything I would like from a midfielder in terms of whether it be control, ball control, whether it's passing, the defensive side of things. Like, I'm not saying he's a Roy Keane, but you know what I mean, he's still quite good at that phase of the game. And I think he'd be a very good midfielder. And I think he seems like a player that if he goes to the right team after Newcastle, obviously provided he leaves Newcastle, but if he goes to the right team, I feel like he'd be only going to Liverpool, Man City, Real Madrid, Barca. Like, he'd have to go to that kind of level. He couldn't just make a sideways step, moving elsewhere. So yeah, that's the midfielder. The reason why I asked was just because obviously it's the transfer period, right? Big up Carl, by the way. Love for becoming the first GTV member. Big up to your damn self. Much love and appreciation, my brother. Obviously, it's a case of whether it's because it's the transfer period, everyone's talking about new signings and this, that, and the third, right? No worries. It is what it is. I ain't got no. I said that I like you on ITK. Midfield has obviously been one position that quite a lot of people have spoken about for various different reasons. At the beginning of the season, obviously, we knew we wanted Zubimendi. He was like the first name on the list. And, well, he was the only name really and truly that Slot wanted that was on this list of players. And we were still trying to figure out what kind of player does Slot even want. Remember, at the time, we didn't know. We didn't know what his style of play would look like. Heck, we didn't know Gravenberch was going to turn out to be, this good. Obviously, now it transpires that we're kind of potentially not going to be in for a Zubimendi again. So now the rumor mills are going, round the clock, and we're all trying to still figure out, all right, so if it's not a Zubimendi type, what is the other type of midfielder do we think? Because we don't know. What kind of midfielder do we think we need, in the squad, man? And that's why I come to you. Like, if you're looking at this Liverpool squad, and obviously with the midfielders that we've obviously already currently got, the McAllister, there's a Bozelites, Gravenberch, Endo, Curtis Jones, and, people of Tyler Morton, Bajcetic out on loan. What type of midfielder, if you would sign one, that's another question, but if you would even sign one, what kind of midfielder do you think we're looking at?
I think it's still that Zubimendi type midfielder, if I'm being honest. I think, although there's not, because of how this season's panned out, obviously Liverpool, I don't think there's a need or necessarily a yearning like we need to get a midfielder in now in January to go and do X, Y, and Z, because obviously Gravenberch has done so well. But ultimately, we are still not playing, I think, the way Slot would like to play. I but we can hear it from his press conferences. He's always critiquing the way Liverpool plays, always saying, I don't think it was that good. Liverpool fans think it's a great game, and he comes out and goes, actually, no, I didn't like the way we didn't keep the ball. I don't like about this person's positioning, this person forcing the ball, whatever it might be. So I think first port of call, it has to be that type of midfielder. The second one that I'd potentially want to go and look at, and it'll be interesting to see what kind of player we were to get in the future, is that number 10 position. That for me is something that'll be interesting to go and see, because we would have thought Elliott in the summer, Carvalho were players that would be perfectly suited to that position. But one got shipped out after having a decent pre-season where we thought, oh, is he going to stay? Is he going to go? He's gone. All of a sudden, Elliott just doesn't get any game time at all. So you start to look at it and you think, does that mean he doesn't like the profile midfielder, or is it that he just doesn't rate the players? It'll be interesting to find out. But the first midfielder I'd look at is that deep lying playmaker or whatnot. You know, I might like to call it.
No, I feel you, man. Big up, Carl, man. Love for joining us this morning, my bro. Hope you are doing well first and foremost, and thank you for becoming a member of the damn channel, man. Much appreciated.
No, just like you said, it's less than it's less than getting coffee. So I'm about to get coffee anyways, because I have to drive my missus to work. She's a nurse, you know, graveyard shift all the time. Even though I got home 5 hours ago from picking her up.
You see, this is what I'm saying, people. Less than a cup of coffee. I mean, that Starbucks stuff and cost of coffee you guys be buying that should be expensive, man. But yeah.
How you doing, Jerry? How you doing?
Oh,
how you doing, G?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed, literally.
Yeah. I mean, I was really interested in the convo. That's why I asked you for the link. I thought because it's a very not thought provoking, but more like a roster building, and I love that kind of stuff. Of trying to figure it out, what's the right player and to add to the squad to, you know, to continue to play a certain style of football and challenge and win stuff. And those are sometimes the most important things about football. It's not after what's happened in the field. It's I think it's 1B is roster construction.
No. I feel you, bro. I feel you. So obviously, to the same question I asked Jerry, I'll ask you: if you're looking at a type of midfielder you think that we kind of need, because obviously, like I said, we was in for Zubimendi. Excuse me. It doesn't look like we're in for him anymore. So obviously now we're all trying to figure out, okay, if it's not him, because we don't want to go back in for him, is it what Jerry said, which is we're still going back in for that same type of player, that type of profile? Or are we looking at potentially a different type of profile? Are we looking at, you know, a Bruno Guimaraes, you know, them kind of profiles? Is it all for you? Is it still the same profile you feel that we need in the squad?
No, I think again, you always gotta evaluate the team. I think at the beginning of the season, it was Zubimendi. I think now as the team has progressed, I think it needs to change, and I think that players like Baleba, like you just said, Tonali. I think players like Guimaraes. Who else should I talk about? These are the players that we need to go after. My concern with Baleba is that he might be a little bit young for us, because again, not because he's 18, 19, I believe. He might be a little bit too young. Maybe he might not be ready to have enough experience to play at our level of football.
He's 21. He's 21.
Then whatever I'm saying right now is I'm shining shit. I think
it's not even chat. It's just
I think he was 19. I thought he was 19.
No. He's good age, man. That's what I'm saying. If he was younger, I would hear what you're saying 100%.
I'm shining shit. I think he deserved to. We should try to make a deal. I know it will be expensive, but we did put 115 for Caicedo, but so I would love him at the club. I think in this midfield, as far as we've seen, we need a runner. We need another runner. We need someone who could combine running and doing the physical and the tackling aspect or the just breaking football down, breaking the other team attack and breaking it down. I think that's what we lack in this team is someone to be a Fabinho, to just destroy attack, destroy a read plays. I think that's one of the weakness for Gravenberch is that he does a lot of reading, which he's great at. He does a lot of reading, and I think sometimes you just need a player who's just gonna break everything. And I think that's what he can be for us.
Someone like Belieber. What about you, Jerry, man? I don't know if you've watched much, of Belieber, whether it be this season or whenever, he came to Brighton, man. How do you feel about if Liverpool were to go in for someone like him, as opposed to, because he's not a Zubimendi type of player at all. Like he's literally kind of the opposite. How would you feel about that?
Yeah, he's calm. I'm not gonna. I haven't watched a lot of him.
Sound enthusiastic, boy. I'll tell you that for free.
Yeah, I think he's good. I think age is on his side. I think that's the thing that people talk about a bit more. I think if he was 26 with Liverpool, you'd be like, yeah, we need to get Belieber in. I don't think so. But again, good in terms of what you guys were talking about in regards to Belieber. It's just 100%. He's strong. He's defensive. He can run. He's a powerful presence. He's athletic. But do I think that's what Liverpool miss personally? I think Liverpool don't keep the ball as well as they want to play, because again, if you're playing a slower game and you are dictating the pace of the game, you don't need runners. Runners, you kind of become, I mean, you're not really needed. Yeah. Where you need runners is when the game's played in transition. And I think in games like that, 100% having someone like that to come in and it'll be really, really good. When you've got to control games a bit more and be a bit slower and you're trying to do the slower build up and keep it and stuff, I think you need someone that's a bit better.
Jerry, but a quick question, just to allow you to continue. Do you think it's a function of our front that's why I'm saying the fact that because our front is very risky in terms of how they play offense, how they play action. Salah is very risky. He takes a lot of chances. A lot of ball wasted in the front in terms of too much risk taking for no reason. Do you think that might be a function of maybe we might need a someone who can do that kind of job in that profile?
Yes, but ultimately we are risky. But in order to score goals, you need to be risky. I think if you look at the amount of chances that Liverpool create, it's lower than it has been under Klopp. If you go and look at Núñez as an example, that's a great example. Yeah. Someone last season that, he played quite similar, to be fair. He was getting way more chances. He had way more opportunities to score. He played more minutes, of course, as well. So, people are talking about Núñez saying, no, he's not scoring, but look, he's got goals and assists. He's got 17 goals and assists this season. He's got this, so he's going to get better. But that's because of the amount of chances you're creating on transition. But defensively, he leaves you susceptible. Liverpool don't concede a lot of chances in transition where teams are one-on-one against us. A lot of the time when they get their chances, we're back solid as a team. And if you go back to the Forest game, they had one chance where they cut us open after being caught. And one shot, one finish. Apart from that, they didn't really do anything. I think if you keep the ball a bit better and you've got players that can go and intercept the ball, win the ball, but after they win it, they keep the ball, you don't need runners like that. Runners are great when there's space. So when there's loads of space and you can cover ground and go back to front, you need legs. And that's a tactic that can work. But the way Slot wants to play, even with the slow build up, the fact that we keep the ball, put our foot on it, move it slow, but all of a sudden someone punches it into the midfield and then we speed it up. When you lose the ball, you need someone that's going to win it back. And again, it's not about getting someone that's like slow, that can't run. You want legs in there. But I don't think the emphasis is, he needs to be a runner. He needs to be a runner as it was on the Klopp. I think the tactical side, the technical side is paramount. And after that, you can deal with it. For instance, if you gave him a choice of having a 32-year-old Gundogan or a 24-year-old Henderson, he probably goes with Gundogan just for a game because of his technical ability. But Henderson had way more legs than him, and I think it's just the way he sees the game. But again, I haven't seen much of Baleba, so he might be a really, really good player. I'm not gonna sit here and cap and be like, yeah, no, I've seen it now. I've seen him like twice. I don't think that's a big enough sample size.
No. I hear it, man. Obviously, the next player.
Yeah, give me 1 second. Just one more statement. To me is that I was really impressed when I don't know if you remember or even if you watched that game, they were playing against City, and then City was winning 1-0, and then just injecting them into the game changed the whole thing, and give them more possession, and obviously got them in a more a counter-attack situation and high up the field. So that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, 100%. But that's my point, isn't it? So if your tactic is to combat someone because they've got possession, you want to go and put on legs like we've done with playing Szoboszlai in certain games and stuff, then yeah, again, it can work. And I'm not taking away from him saying that he's not a good player. But when you're talking about what Liverpool are trying to do on the slot right now, the reason why we went in for a Zubimendi is purely because of that reason, because Liverpool's midfield had legs last season. Liverpool's midfield had runners. Bar McAllister, Liverpool's midfield had runners. Curtis Jones can run. Szoboszlai can run. McAllister was playing deeper. But Elliott runs. Do you know what I mean? But what it is the game was reliant on transition. Now when it's slower, you need someone that can keep the ball a bit better. And I think when a Brighton plays a City 9 times out of 10 have all the ball. So how you combat that is by putting someone that can run more than their midfield, because their midfield can't run anymore because of their age and stuff like that.
No. I totally agree, man. Just quickly before we move on, big up Tyler. Love for the super chat, my brother. Thank you so much. He said, no way you would be happy as a manager utilizing the last manager's tools to his extent. No new signings and top 3 talents out of contract. Now, Tyler, I hear it. I fully hear it. It's a very weird situation because I don't know many, if any, managers actually who have come into a new job and not signed anybody they signed one player for this season, which is Chiesa. But other than that, keeping the nucleus of a previous squad, and then obviously having this situation, the unique situation of obviously 3 players, their contracts obviously all running out, which is obviously that in itself ain't his problem, if that makes sense, because obviously he just inherited that kind of issue. In terms of the squad building, I mean, when you hear him in the press conferences, I don't know, is he, people, I know Trudon here, he's saying, he's a yes man and all of that. I hear it, but Klopp said the same things though. The same things that Slot's saying is the same things that, so in one side, I hear what people say in terms of, oh, he's just a yes man. But remember, he took the job kind of already knowing probably all of this. They probably had conversation. Like I'll be super shocked if they never had one conversation about the finances of this football club and stuff like that. So
when you apply for a job, obviously they post, they ask you to postulate, and then you bring your resume and stuff, and then one of the requirements they say you must have at Liverpool is that you are a coach. You're here to coach the football team. You're not here to make decision about roster construction. You could give your input, but at the end of the day, what they want from a coach, that's why they didn't go for Amorim, because Amorim was asking for power. He was asking for personnel or roster construction power. And they said, no, that you're not the kind of guy we want. And that's why they went with with Slot. And I think at times fans are looking at football from a bygone era of what they learned and what a manager or a coach used to do. I think nowadays a roster construction is strictly a board or a football director job. It's no longer part of the a coach or a manager a job description. It might be a collaboration. I think all great companies collab, but if we're looking at what's the job description of Slot, it's not necessary to do to help with roster construction or tell what kind of player he wants.
No, I agree. I'm in full agreement with what Carl's saying, man, because it's in there in the job description. So we can't do the no. We can say yes, the yes man stuff, but he kind of knew that. So what more? I don't know. Like, I'm not surprised.
How are we going to criticize him for being a yes man? Because if the job was for you to be a yes man.
Yes, yeah, literally. I'm like, I can't criticize him for that because he is one. So, you know, it is what it is, isn't it? I think it's only if you believe he's not, that's probably why, you know, you might look at it in the other way in terms of like, oh, you know what, the owners and this, that. But listen, I'm not.
I think we can criticize them if both parties that are supposed to be saying, okay, you're a yes man. Yes, I make the decision about roster construction, and then they start having a split in thinking, in vision, and then that split it creates a rift in the club in decision making. Then we can start criticizing people. But if they both understand their role and are respecting their role, then how are we going to insult a man for doing the job that they ask him to do?
Yeah.
So, I think that criticism is just a bit very unfair.
Yeah, no, I agree. But big up Tyler every single time. Much love for the super chat. And I hear what everyone's saying, because obviously I see what you're saying about, you know, Arsenal, City. But again, you know, they're under like a different type of model as opposed to and I keep going back to this, and I keep saying this. I've said this on ENDZ stream in the last like 2 or 3 streams I've been on. Go back to what Zabiri said on, I think it was 2 or 3 streams ago. Zabiri, this is the most sense you've ever said since I've known you. We know the owners, guys. We know what they are on. We know what this ownership is about. At this point, there's no point even moaning about it because we know what they're on. It's like, and if he doesn't mind me saying, it's like the gaffer being in a relationship, yeah? He's been with his missus for God knows however long. Let's just say 8 to 10 years or whatever it is, yeah, as an example. At this point, he kind of knows what she's on. He knows that she knows what he's on. So if there are things that you still don't really like, at this point, it's like, well, you kind of probably do kind of like it because you've been here for so damn long. And you know that that person isn't going to change, vice versa. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So it's like, yes, we can moan about it. I'm not saying we can't voice our opinions. Of course, like, I want signings, you want signings, we want better play. I get it. I'm in full agreement. But you know, when I'm like, you know what, I'm done with even trying to bother with what they're on. I just know what Liverpool as a football club are on. So I have to start thinking within that kind of perimeter. Like, I need to start thinking when we're talking about players. You never hear like us talking about, yeah, I want to sign this guy, or we should be getting that guy, or why are we not linked with this player? There's a reason why we're linked with certain type of players. Man, that Simaz, whoever that brother is from fucking Germany. Who's that? But you know what?
I didn't even know he existed as a person.
Bro, I had to go on Football Manager and I checked. I was like, oh, okay. Well, on my Football Manager save, he doesn't really do that well. So I don't know. Like, it's just one of those kind of things. But I get it. We obviously we're gonna always look at it from this type of perspective, and that's fine. Do you get? And again, guys, I'm not gonna Oscar. Listen, if you're FSG out, I'm not here to argue with you for at all. Like, I don't care edgeways, really and truly. All I'm saying.
Hold on. Quick question, Oscar.
Yeah, of course.
So if FSG, if they're going to hypothetically sign Mbappe tomorrow, sign Valverde tomorrow, get whoever, right? Sort out all your problems. He's still FSG out.
It's the same as this question here from saying, if Slot wins the double, is it still FSG out? Like, I don't know. Like, are we still keeping that same?
Yeah, like I think you, Jerry, and a lot of other fans. I know it sounds like we are alone in this thinking. Is that how we're going to influence an ownership group to sell because we don't like how they move strictly on the a transfer market, and I think that sometimes it's childish. It's the fact that you don't understand how the financial aspect of things work. You know, how you gonna have an asset that is every year it's growing, and you're just gonna let that go because people around you or the fans around you don't like the fact that you don't spend money on the transfer market. I think that's just childish, and then you need to understand that's how they move, and that's how they want to do business. There's different way to do business, and I think that they've been successful enough to continue to dictate that's how business should be done. And I think that other people moaning about it is just it's just not productive. It's just not productive at all.
I 1,000,000% agree. But let's move on anyway. Obviously, another player, of course, we've been linked to is that 𝐶𝐒, and that was before we even signed all of the midfield, like the 𝐒𝐔𝐁𝐒, Gravenberch, Endo, and McAllister. Obviously, he was the one that we were looking at, or I don't know, whatever it was. That was the player.
From Monaco, from Monaco,
So obviously there was his type of profile. Obviously, he's been a little bit. In terms of form-wise, from what I've seen in it from Real Madrid, Savage will be able to tell you way better. But from what I've seen, he hasn't been as good as he was a period of time in terms of consistency of the performances. Not saying he's been poor or anything. It's just more you've not maintained the levels that you had once hit to the point where you're like, okay, yeah, this guy is really whatever. Whether that's just moving positions, plays at centre back sometimes, has to go back into midfield, in and out of the team every now and again, kind of thing. But yeah, I feel like with someone like 𝐶𝐒, he seemed like the perfect profile, alongside players like Bruno Guimaraes as well. Another player that everyone looks at, Premier League proven. Obviously, at this point, he's another player that we all kind of look at and think, yo, these are the type of players. But then listening to what Jerry said there about you may not necessarily need that kind of profile. Now you've got my head slightly kind of thinking, because now I'm like, okay, well then if not a 𝐒𝐿𝐵𝐼, what is that profile? Like, who is that profile? Like, who is 𝐒𝐿𝐵𝐼? Like, what is he like? What is there another player out there? Because in my head, I thought the way that the way Slot would see it now is he's got Gravenberch now. That's his certified. He's the one midfielder that's probably always going to play, right? Moving forward. Maybe McAllister, I would say, is the second one. So really, you are just looking for a third midfielder to almost complement those two. Who is a midfielder, realistically, do you guys think we can get who complements those two? Or if you can't think of the player, what's the profile? Because I hear what Jerry said in terms of that 𝐒𝐿𝐵𝐼 type of player, but then we get the Newcastle games. Do you know what I mean? Where you're getting bullied. Did you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
it's like,
but what it is though, it's funny, right? The saying is there's multiple ways to skin a cat. Now, of course, you can go and fight fire with fire. So in this country, the way they'll look at it, right, and it's in sports in general, is if they're strong, we're gonna get stronger. Like, we're gonna beat you. We're gonna be faster than you. We're gonna do this. Like, we're not gonna have it. We're gonna bully you, right? But another place of the world, they'll be like, cool, you can be stronger, you can be faster. Our timing's going to be better. This is going to be better. And that's and I think Slot is looking at it and thinking, why do we have to get into a battle with a team to win a game? Not saying that not saying that is the right or wrong. Again, we've seen again Arsenal that have gone down the strength route and it's worked for them in terms of points and stuff like that. You've got back into them teams that didn't want to go and do that. What I'm saying is, if you've got players that keep the ball better than anyone else, it doesn't matter if you're strong or fast. Because I'm telling you now, I could come up against flipping 15-year-olds that, do you know what I mean, are mad fast and this, that. If you went and put them in with some vets, right? Not even me, but let's say you got a team of just academy players, but they're 16. They're rapid, they're faster, this, that. But you put them against a team of just vets. So the likes of Seedorfs, Henrys that are 40s plus, their man aren't going to run around, but they're going to make you look silly because they just understand the principle. Oh, yeah, pass me the ball here. Yeah, I'll give it back. And you're going to be like, yeah, I'm faster than him. We might even be stronger than him, man. But we can't. There's nothing we can do. And I think Slot's looking at it thinking, why do we have to engage in that? If we just keep the ball, then it doesn't matter how strong Forest are. Like, you think, yes, the Forest that we played the other day, you think, well, Barcelona, prime Barcelona, which of course, one of the best teams of all time, but that's what he's probably striving for, to get to a level of like, or get to that. You know what I mean? That kind of style is. Do you think they're struggling against Forest? No.
No.
They're going to keep it. Or even City from like 4 years ago. Do you think they're struggling against Forest?
No.
No, because they're just going to keep it and keep it and keep it and keep it, and you boot the ball away, but all of a sudden, Stone just, instead of just booting the ball back or heading it somewhere else, do you know what I mean? He just goes and like chests it down into Gundogan, and Gundogan fires a pass straight out to De Bruyne.
You're totally right,
keeps
Jerry.
Keeps it, and as soon as he keeps it, all of a sudden that team's like, there's nothing we can do. We're trying to battle with them, but we can't get near them. I'm sprinting now, trying to get to McAllister. He's popped it off.
Yeah,
that's football in its purest form. So if you view football like that, the idea that, oh yeah, but speed and strength and this, and that's what we need, and we need a run. Like, yeah, if you want to go down that route and you want to beat up someone like that, yeah, you can go and do that. But there's someone else that's going to do it in a different way. And I think he just views football in a different way. And it's like, yeah, like, cool, we can be strong and stuff, but we can just get someone that's just better technically, and it just solves everything, because we want to play a certain way. And now it's like, he's so good technically, you can't get the ball off him.
Well, perfect example. It's those games that you talk about, like even us against Forest, and even us against Newcastle, right? So how did we had an opportunity at Newcastle to win the game? Is because we got better at passing. We got better at passing the ball faster, and then we got a better. We got someone who was really good at playing the ball with Trent and making better decision and more accurate decision with the ball and playing football, and then we're able now to have a chance to win that game against Forest. If Forest don't score that goal, don't hit us perfectly in that first 10 minutes, I guarantee you we probably win that game 1 or 2-0, because the moment that we score a goal, they'll probably will have to break up shape and be a little bit more adventurous, and then we hit them, and then it's a 2-0, and then it becomes a calm game. I think with those teams, what they bank on is hitting you first, because the moment they hit, they're able to hit first. Now they're able to play the game that they like, being on a low block, counter-attacking, being strong, that dude Murillo loves the job that he does with. You could clearly see it in his face. So I think you're perfectly right, Jerry. I think especially teams that are very aggressive, that's how you beat them. You keep the ball, and then you pop one, and then get out of shape, and then you pop another one.
Great example, G, right? Remember we went to the West Ham game, yeah? Imagine we were playing the way we were playing, but then could have scored that goal.
Okay, yeah.
All of a sudden, the game changes now, right? What Liverpool do, obviously, they score a goal, but you keep it, and then the aim is to make every game look like that towards the end of the game, where you're looking at it and thinking, bruv, these men have given up. Because how many times have we sat here and criticized opposing teams, be like, nah, man, every team just lies down for City, bruv. They get the one goal and they just give up. Yeah, because they made you give up. And from an idealistic point of view, that's probably the best game to analyze, because everything kind of went right. Again, the problem starts is when Liverpool concede first, because when Liverpool concede first, they revert back to type. And when you start to revert back to type, you're trying to play the transition game. And if there's a couple men that are trying to play the short game, other men that are playing the transition game, you've got Curtis Jones or Diaz is coming short for the ball, but Trent's putting a long ball over the top.
Yeah.
So there's no one, like, do you know what I mean? Like, because naturally he's just wired. He's not even looking at that point. Or Salah gets the ball, he just puts a Trevella in, but there's no one in the box because Diaz has dropped off deep. He's like, yeah, why are you doing that, Salah? It's like, it's just second nature. I'm in this area, I'm just going to put it in. Same way, like, I don't know, a centre-back, right? If they're facing if they're facing away from goal and the ball's running and they're being pressed, 9 times out of 10, they play back to the keeper, or they just hoof it out of play and reorganize themselves again. They just kick it out of play. They kick it out. It's just second nature. It's just what you do. And that's what Liverpool do, unfortunately. So once you get players that can go and keep the ball and they're all on the same wavelength and the philosophy gets through, I think some of these games you'll be looking at just being like, yeah, like that's just, do you know what I mean? Yeah, we win. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I mean,
again, in the first 10 games of our season, we were scoring first in a lot of those games. And then, as you could see, we got a little bit more, because we score first, it becomes a moment of we leading now. We can be a little bit more compact, and then and that way after that we could spray you. We could spray the ball with our midfielders passing it to Trent, passing it wide, and then we just counter-attacking the living hell out of you, because again, you got to come out of your shape because you're losing. And I think at the beginning of the season, and I think that's one way also we were able to keep a lot of clean sheets, because again, we score first. I think our biggest issue right now is that we're not scoring first. If we score first, we're going back to the mode of we're not going to concede, and we're going to have more clean sheets, and we're going to look dominant again. I think it's our issue right now. I think the Slot needs to figure it out a way, or what's going on at the beginning of the game, where why are we so open? Why are we allowing that to happen, to be scored on in the first 20 minutes of the game? And that has been happening since Fulham. Even though we went 10 men down, we did concede one goal before that happened. So there needs to be why? What's going on? Why are we conceding a goal first now?
That's actually that's an interesting question, because I was thinking, one, why, but also obviously I guess we'll know once we know the why, right? So I guess get that question answered, then you can obviously move on. But then also as well, I'm looking at it thinking, isn't that like I remember, because I did it, I'm not gonna lie, last season, that was one of the things I criticized Klopp at Liverpool, which is, like, you man keep conceding first. Like, how long can you keep just conceding first and praying that you just come back and win games and stuff? I mean, we've seen in the last few games we haven't won.
Sorry, G, not to cut you. In Klopp philosophy, that's not an issue, because we know in his philosophy, we're gonna get chances, we're gonna pepper you, and then you're gonna break, and then we're gonna score 2, 3, 4 goals, and then we're gonna win 4-1. It's not an issue in a Klopp system, but in the Slot system, it is a bit of an issue, because we want to control the game. We want to control the flow of the game. So when you do that, just like Jerry said before, we're creating a lot less chance, but we might be creating more more definitive chance under Slot. But under Klopp, we had so many chances everywhere, half chance, mid chance. We look like we are always going to score in every attack. But in Slot,
I kind of disagree with that, because
okay, go ahead.
Because Liverpool's style, if Liverpool concede and a team sits in, it's even worse, because Liverpool need to play on transition. Yeah. So there's no build up. As in, what we started doing was getting the ball and it just crosses into the box, back, give it back to Henderson hoofs it back into that back post, because we can't break down the team. Liverpool are dangerous if they score the goal first. If you look at Liverpool's best games, is when Liverpool score first, because what happens, a team needs to open up and we can catch you on transition.
Yeah, I think I did say that. I did say that.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So conceding first, I think for anyone, I think for any team, is just wrong. And even Klopp won't be like, yeah, great. Yeah, that's fine. We can concede first because we're going to blitz them. I think he looks at it like a major problem, because if I'm a fighter, right? If I'm a fighter and my thing is, I'm going to land that haymaker on you straight away and I'm going all out, I need to catch you, because if I don't catch you and you go and counter me all of a sudden, and now I'm a bit dazed, and the opponent now steps back a bit and he's just a bit, do you know what I mean, tentative. I'm now like swinging even more because I need to get the goal. So now I'm swinging even more. My game plan's out the window. Whereas Liverpool are always the best is when they go and score in the first two, and they always try to do that. They try to kill teams in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, I think what I'm trying to say, Jerry, is that in a Klopp system, it's not that being scored first it's not an issue, or it doesn't matter, or it's not that big of an issue. I think what I'm trying to say to you is that a Klopp system is that the game, he loves enjoying the game. He loves the volatility of the game, and then scoring first for him, it doesn't bother. It shouldn't bother the team. The team doesn't get it doesn't retract in itself. It actually gets more adventurous. It trying to create more action, more offensive action, or trying to even get even more counter pressing to get back into the game. I think, and I'm saying is that just because they're a goal down, it doesn't it doesn't kind of like it doesn't change the game plan from them. It actually increase their wants and their needs to be even more attacking minded. I think that's what I'm trying to say, and that comes with, that's why they score 2, 3, because they keep peppering you. Because again, there's no fear in we're a goal down. Oh my God, they're panicking. There's no panic in that. There's no panic in their game. Yeah, there's no panic again because they know, okay, we're just gonna ramp up what we've been doing, and that's your issue with Klopp, right? G, is the fact that there was no plan B. It's always, let's make plan A better. If when it's not better, let's try to make it best. It always an upgrade of the same plan.
Yeah, and I think that's also now becoming my issue with Slot. And big up Pops, I know you said they're stick to the season, but it's unfortunately we've got the same players. They're playing very similarly to how they were playing last season in moments. Obviously understandable, but I'm still seeing the same thing in terms of now we're trying to do almost what you were trying to do under the previous coach. The problem with that is that I almost feel like Slot's having, like, it's almost like a conflict of interest now, because he doesn't want you to do crossing, inshallah. He don't want that. He ain't trying to just keep firing the ball into the box and just, bro, he from what I can see, he's trying to just make the football patient, as Jerry has said. So whether it's just keep moving the ball around, whether it's keep popping the ball and this, that, and the other. But what we're seeing quite a lot is, we're more dangerous when the opposition has a corner, because that's how we're gonna run down the other side of the pitch and do a madness. Like, I don't want to bait out the person's name, but what team was Aston Villa that we played? Do you know what I mean? They're more shook of us getting the corner than like us, than them actually getting. They're more shook that they're getting a corner than we actually, and then Liverpool actually getting a corner. It's just like, how does that work? Like, that's still the kind of football that you're still kind of. Obviously, I get it because it's still
9 years. 9 years. That's what 9 years is.
And I'm not trying to be harsh against that, because it is very difficult to just tell Barcelona, yeah, so we've gone from tiki-taka, and then all of a sudden you bring in a coach who doesn't even play.
And also it works. And also it works. And also it works. It works. Because that counter-attacking off a corner, how many goals have we scored like that? How many times have we put away teams like that? And it's hard for you as a manager to come in and look at that and say, well, I don't want to play that style of football, when that style of football has created lots of goals, has won game. Again, perfect example, Aston Villa this year. When we played them this year, we beat them strictly by doing that. We calmly beat them 2-0 by just doing that. And by beating them on a counter attack. It's hard for a new manager to come in and say we're not gonna have those part of our games, and it just don't make sense. It just don't make sense, especially when you have the same players.
Yeah, and I think that's where I kind of see it. But talking about obviously the same players, this is the last part, and then we'll head on out of there. And I agree, by the way, what you said, Bajan, about it could just be PTSD for our opponents. It's true, but I still think that if I had to pick one counter-attacking team, it would be Liverpool. I would still say Liverpool. I've always said that, like, they're just so sick at counter-attacking that I don't know many teams who you're like, fucking hell. Even if we might miss, which is probably likely with the players that we've got, I'm still like, yo, anyone coming up against Liverpool and you want to do machine for machine, I don't know, you might not walk home feeling great. I'll tell you that much. But one of the players, obviously, you guys can see on the screen, is 𝐒𝐇𝐀𝐃. And obviously, the other question I've got in the caption is, of course, should Slot trust the squad more? Obviously, that's been a kind of lingering question that we're seeing quite a lot. He's not playing. Obviously, Elliott's been injured, by the way. So, of course, there's always going to be that caveat. But there are other players in the squad, like Endo, obviously being one of the main ones, who not really getting that kind of game time. He is kind of picking the same players over and over again, even if, for like an example, like a Konaté coming back from injury, it's like, yeah, well, I got to throw him in. I'd rather him playing than, say, Kwanzaa potentially, playing in this game and that game. I'll ask you both here before we take a look at Elliot himself. Should he start trusting the squad more? Do we think he's got the squad here to help him win the league, or is it a case of I can see why he doesn't trust them? I'll go to you, Jerry, first. Big up Tyler, by the way, for the super chat.
I think he's got, if he's going on all 4 fronts, I think you're gonna have to trust your squad. If you're going on all 4 fronts, if you're trying to win the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, you're gonna have the Champions League. Do you know what I mean? Like, we haven't even played Champions League yet. Do you know what I mean? A certain man already getting injured. Do you know what I mean? So it's that will become difficult. But if you're talking about the league in general, I think this season he's definitely got the squad. He's definitely got the squad, and the proof in the pudding. We're top, innit?
Yeah.
If the league ended, after 6 months or however much, 7 months in a season, then, do you know what I mean? That's the league done. So he has got the squad. But I think if you're going to challenge on all fronts, you need to start utilising the squad a bit more. And that will be his undoing, I think. You
think so?
Yeah, I think we won't go and win a quad.
Yeah,
that's FA Cup, Carabao Cup, Champions League. One of them is going to drop off. Premier League, one of them is going to drop off.
If he doesn't start utilising the squad, obviously.
Yeah.
What about you, Carl? What about you? Like, do you think he needs to
I actually think that he's been using the squad. Because again, we do rotate in the League Cup. We do rotate in the we have rotated. I know it's just one game. We have rotated in the FA Cup. I think the big question is that why is he not rotating in the league, in the Premier League? And I'm saying is that I think in the league you will always want to be playing your best players, your best players that give you the best chance to win. And that's not Harvey Elliott. I know last year he did he played great, and which we thought that will increase the possibility of him playing more. But again, he got injured at the beginning of the season. He got back barely 2 months ago. So I'm like, I mean, to me, there shouldn't be any qualm. I'm sure at the beginning of the season, everybody got their marching orders. Like, look, you're not gonna play that much. You're gonna be playing here. We might substitute you here and there in the Premier League. So, like, I think a lot of times fans don't understand. All of those things are already planned out way before the season even starts. How we structurally going to play you as a player, because if you don't, and then you start the season that way, and then you always mismatching. You always panicking. Who you want to play in certain situation, and here and there, then you already in a losing situation. I think the only time you will probably see lots of change in a team if the team is doing bad. If the team is doing good, you won't see that much change. And even if you look at City when they were winning 4 in a row, you're looking at the squad from day to day and match to match in the Premier League. It's probably not that much change. And I think as fan, we magnify the fact that there's not that much change for no real reason, when we both know you win the league by playing your best player every game.
No, I don't disagree. I'm definitely not on that train. Me personally, I couldn't care less about Harvey. This is just more for the people who really do. The reality
Come on, man.
No. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Again, sorry. It's the way I articulate. All right.
You run it well.
I don't. No. Okay. I don't mind if Harvey sits on the bench, because he is, to me, a bench player anyway. I'm not looking at him thinking, I feel like this guy deserves to start. Like, I don't look at him like that. If that was the case, then I would say, he needs to start. Like, I think Jota needs to start, but it's difficult to say that when Diaz, Gakpo, and Salah are doing so well. I can't. There's only so much I can justify it with, other than his previous. Well, really and truly, these 3 are the ones who are on job right now. So I have to go with with that 3. He's not one of those kind of players. But at the beginning of by the end of pre-season / the beginning of the season, if I'm being honest, everybody thought, Harvey's gonna be the guy. Like he was going to be the guy in midfield. Like he was going to be that number 10. He was going to be our Florian Wirtz. He was going to be our Mesut Ozil. He was going to be like, he was supposed to be the guy. Didn't start, came off the bench, got injured anyway. And obviously now it's looking like he's still not really, like he's getting minutes every now and again, but he's not really starting any games. So I'm looking at him and thinking, yes, trust him, but I don't know what his position is though. Like where does he actually play?
Yeah,
like if anyone can tell me, like what position is he?
Again, I'm sure you guys will watch football, right? In the depth chart of midfielders in our squad, you're not going to start him over Gravenberch. You're not going to give him. You're not going to give Gravenberch a rest for him. You're not going to give him rest for McAllister. You're not going to give him rest over Szoboszlai or Jones, and that means that he's the next man in. And what? So every game, you those are the changes that you always going to look for. Like, oh, changes over Szoboszlai over McAllister. Why? I mean, especially the games are never how you expect them to go. Like, again, so are you going to put him in the situation of force when we were 1-0 down? I don't think that was a good plan to put him in that situation, where he had to do lots of defending, lots of tracking back, because again we're trying to concentrate the action on top, but that also means that when we need to defend, we need people who's going to do a defensive job and get the ball back. I don't think that's Harvey Elliott. Again, it's very tough. It's very tough to find a reason to just put him in and when you don't know what's the situation.
Okay, so I agree, it is, but at the same time, I like, at what point do you look at a player like this and just say, it might not just happen for you here? Now, obviously, there's only 11 players that can play on the football pitch, right? So,
just like you said, sometimes you need bench. You need good bench, man.
No. From a Liverpool perspective, that is fine. From Liverpool's perspective, in terms of you need a bench man, he does not strike me as a type of player who is willing to just kind of wait for the opportunity to just be this first team. He strikes me as someone that's like, bro, I should be playing like now. So why am I not playing now? Like,
how old is he? How old is he right now? How old is he right now?
I will check right now.
22, 23.
I think he should give himself 2 more years.
Two more years.
2 more years, yeah.
It's a long time. He's been here for time, you know.
No,
2 more years. 2 more years.
He made his debut. He made his debut as a 16-year-old, right?
Yeah.
He made his debut as a 16-year-old. Luis Diaz made his debut as a 20-year-old. You want him to wait? What? It's like Diaz waiting until he's 28 to go and play to become a first teamer. That's nonsense. That's nonsense.
No. First of all, he's a first teamer. First of all, we need to acknowledge he's a first teamer. He's just not starting every game. And then I'm sure, if he didn't have an injury, he would have probably played more in the Premier League. I think we can kind of say that.
I don't know. I think the problem Elliott's got, right, and the way you look at it is 3 seasons ago now, right? 3 seasons ago, he started the Premier League season at Leeds.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Under that manager, the manager had plans for him to be a starter. It wasn't a bench. It wasn't chill, get a couple minutes.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, whether it's injuries, whether because last season he done better off the bench, whatever it is, he hasn't been able to establish himself for 3 years. Remember the same conversations we were having about Jones, saying if Jones can't nail down a regular starting spot, and it's the same as last season, we need to cash in on him. Remember that was the discussion?
Yeah.
The same discussion has to be with Elliott. He is not holding down a starting berth. And this is someone that's been playing since he was 16 years old. He is now 23. 3 years shy of having a decade of professional football, and he's not a starter. And he looks around and is like, my age mates, what are they doing? And wherever level they're at.
That's in his perspective.
Noni Madueke is doing this. Jadon Sancho is doing this. All his age mates, and he's on the bench at Liverpool,
Okay.
thinking, as G said, I can go and play.
Again, that's it. That's his own perspective. Why I'm saying 2 years, again, I'm looking at it mostly from a Liverpool standpoint. Again, because what I'm saying is that we got ENNY in here, and then we have that kid Rio. Again, we put in Rio on the wing, but that might not be his final position when he becomes 18, 19, and he becomes a full developed footballer. Again, what I'm trying to say is that there will be a time where that part of the bench or that part of the game is that part of the roster, it becomes more valuable to sell him than keep him, because again, we don't know what's in the academy coming in, or we don't know what we're going to buy in the future. So that's why I'm saying that to keep him for 2 years, because right now he has a valuable spot, is the fact that he is someone that if we start him in the Premier League game, I'm not that worried. I'm not worried. He's not preferable right now, but I'm not that worried. But the thing is, I think in 2 years, if there's no actual real progress, or the fact that he's making it uncomfortable for people who starts or are currently starting, and he's not displacing them, yes, it's time for us to sell him, because I think there's still a player of value there for us to keep. That's why I'm saying 2 years, and it might be tough.
But the value, but the monetary, even from a Liverpool standpoint, though, the monetary value is going to be decreased, because if there's no progress, he's now a 25-year-old. He has now got less money, less time on his contract.
Even at 25, you can still sell him for 20 mil. Even at 25, you're not getting 5 mil for Harvey.
You will not sell Elliott for 20 mil if you're saying for 2 years there is no progress.
Well,
like, if now the value, wait. If now, like, logically speaking, Carl, just break it down, right? Business. The value of the product right now, with X amount on his contract, being of this age, doing what he done in last season, and only having 6 months of not really playing regular football, is 30 million as an example, because that's what has been touted. 35
million euros on transfer market.
So yeah, 35 million euros, 30 million, right? Yeah. If there's 2 years of no progress, right?
Okay, let's not say progress.
Less time on the contract.
Progress right now. The same progress he's having right now.
But there's no progress right now. He's not playing games. He's not playing games.
Okay, he's not playing. What progress? He does play in the Carabao and come up to the bench at times.
Carl, that's not progress. Like, no club will look at that and be like, yeah, he's playing Carabao. No. There's no progress. He's now 2 years older. I've played the game. There's no progress. He's now 2 years older. There's now less teams that will be interested in. Borussia Dortmund in 2 years' time will not be interested in Harvey Elliott. Brighton in 2 years' time will not be interested in Harvey Elliott, because they don't go for that age profile. His age is that because of what he done last season. The longer it goes on, last season becomes last season. If for 2 years he's now playing the same amount of minutes he's playing right now, which I don't know how many minutes he's played.
Okay. Quick question. I'm deferring to you because, again, you said you played the game. I'm deferring to you in that sense. So let's say that again, there is more progress in the sense is that he is killing the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup. Like, let's say that we win those trophies, and he's one of the big part of reason why we won the trophies by either scoring or assisting. Like, he's had good games in those situations. Are those value even in a year or two? Even if he just consistently do really well in Carabao and FA Cup, and then he come up off the bench sometimes in the Premier League, is that not still keeping the same value? And I think that's what
not value.
Do. That's not value.
But that's not value, Carl. Because ultimately in football, progression is linear, and it doesn't stay across the same. It's not like, yeah, he done well in the Carabao Cup and that's where he is. He does well in the Carabao Cup. What's the next step then? It's not, yeah, we just keep on and he does well in the Carabao. No. It's what's the next step after that? Okay, so yeah, you need to play first team football now. Okay, so what's the next step after that? It's linear progression. If there's no progression, it's stagnant, because he's been doing Carabao Cup since he was 17 years old. So ultimately, he's regressing, because 3 years ago he was supposed to be a starter. So if anything, in people's eyes, they're looking at it thinking, what's going on here?
Okay, so basically you're saying is that if we don't sell him in January, and if we don't think there's a spot for him in the long term, we should sell him in the summer.
100%. 100%, especially when Liverpool are being linked with Ryan Cherky, Diblin from Southampton. The writing's on the wall for me, my friend.
Okay, I think we're kind of saying the same thing, right? Because again, I'm saying is that if the club doesn't think they can find a replacement for him, a replacement for him now,
but we don't need. But the problem is we don't need a replacement because he's not being. That's the biggest problem. He's not being used. The replacement only comes for something I'm being used. Why do I need a replacement of something that's sitting in my
to me, the
cupboard
replacement is just a body. It's just another body that can do his thing. It doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to do what he
Slot
does.
doesn't want a body that can do his things. That's the point. That is the crux of the argument, is that Slot doesn't value whatever he's bringing to the table right now. Otherwise, he would have played more games because the other manager did value them. So he's not even coming off the bench. He's getting Chiesa minutes. In games where we should be winning a game, or Forest, he's not even being brought into the game to go and try and get a winner. When that's what he was doing last season. So therefore, the progression's decreased. He's getting less minutes, less opportunity to go and show himself. And when he looks around his age mates, he's like, oh, all the people I was at with the under 21s and under 23s at England, they're all playing in the first team for England. And where am I doing? They're all getting selected for squads, and I'm still here as the oldest guy in the age group. That's no progression. Hence why there's an entertainment of Liverpool moving him on, because it's not because Liverpool think he's rubbish, because they don't think he's rubbish, but he's not getting game time. And if you're not getting game time, they need to sell now. If I'm not using something,
but I
for
see
now,
him leaving. I see him leaving as a weakness for us, because again, I still value him as a good player.
Yeah, that's fine, but Liverpool don't. It doesn't matter what we think. I think he's amazing. I thought we should have been brought on against against Forest. Slot doesn't see it like that. It doesn't matter what you think. What you think is it doesn't matter. The club doesn't think that right now at this moment in time, Slot doesn't think that Elliot is of any use. It's the same way as Endo. I like Endo, but guess what? He's not being used. So if he's not being used, you cash in on him because the value will drop. It's like if I've got a Lamborghini sitting in my thing, but I'm not using it. At one point, I've got to question myself and be like,
come on, if you can
I'm not someone that's got loads of money that can go and do this. You know what? I'm going to have to sell that car, and get some value for it. And
only the Lamborghini is not for resale.
Yeah, but that's the point.
I got you. I understand you.
Elliot is not something that Liverpool miss. The evidence in that is that he's not playing games, and Liverpool are winning.
Perfect statement. I think you describe him perfectly. He's not someone that we miss, but when he plays, he's not someone that hinders the team. I think he's in that limbo. He doesn't elevate or even raise the floor of the team, but when he comes in, he doesn't drop the standard. He doesn't drop the standard that there is in the team. And I think that. Go ahead.
I was gonna say he almost reminds me of them type of players, who like when you're at like a big club, like maybe like Man City or like a Real Madrid, you see them kind of clubs. Sometimes they'll have like a player, not Elliot's age,
Fran Garcia.
Maybe like
Nacho and that.
Nacho.
Yes, like Nacho, where he's already obviously Nacho's had a career. Obviously, Elliot's just beginning, like he's at the beginning of his like stages, right? But Nacho's been around for so long, they're now at a stage where you know what they can do. There's gonna be no, obviously with him it's different because there's no resale value with like a Nacho, like he's 32 or whatever he was, right? But you know what they can do, and as Carl said, they don't hinder your team being there. But I don't need him to be here. Like, I'm not going to miss him if he's there. I feel like Elliot's at that stage now. And I'm like, but you're 21 though. Like that should have come like later on down the line where a team like Liverpool can say, yeah, we'll have Elliot in the team, but he's not going to play that much and we don't miss the guy kind of thing. But he's still got abilities like, to play this and almost like an Endo. Almost like an Endo. That's why I feel like Endo would always be calm. The Donny's 30 plus. He's not looking at it like and thinking, yeah, you know what, man, I should be playing. Bro, playing where? Brother, you're 30 plus. The teams, the midfielders we do have in the team are already of a state of like, they're all getting into their prime years and they all think that they're players who should be playing on a consistent basis. Like, look at the ages. Some of them are captains.
Give me a second. I'll be right back.
Yeah, calm. Like, all of these guys are like captains, like in terms of Szoboszlai as a captain and of his team, right? So I'm looking at it thinking like, yeah, they would think that, but you wouldn't think that. meaning you don't mind playing too tough. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Whereas Elliot, I don't feel like he sees it like that. Like I'm just checking now because you lot was talking about the minutes and stuff. I'll check the minutes, but last season he played 53 games in minutes.
But he's not even going to get half at this rate. He's not even going to get half of that.
No, but obviously, bear this was substitution, by the way. Like, this was a lot of sub appearances.
Yeah, but he's not even going to get subbed in half of that, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Imagine, bro. Imagine last season, you knew, or last year, you knew, like, yeah, bro, 53 times. I'm gonna let's say you were a telemarketer or like you were in sales or recruitment, and last season you're like, yeah, I got 53 sales through, and all of a sudden the year before you're not even getting half of that, bro. Your manager's gonna look at you, bro. We need to sack you, bro.
Yeah, of course.
It's just simple as that. It's just it's not about whether it doesn't matter whether we think he's good enough. And I think Jones is good enough. I think Endo's good enough. I think Kwanzaa's good enough. The manager doesn't think he's good enough, and he's not getting missed. You need to get rid.
No, that's facts. That's fact. That's why I'm a little bit like, yeah, like I just don't really know when it comes to Elliot. For me, I'm just more like, yeah, he can stay. Like I'm not gonna be too fussed about it. But at the same time, I'm also not going to be crying if he left. Like, do you guys really miss Elliot, that much? Big up, Ends, man. Love for joining if he's there.
Yeah, big up, man. Hey, man, like Hollywood G now, yeah? 2K on that. 2KG. I hear it, bro. Shit. Oh, let me sort my camera and I'll jump in there, bro. Hey, I love it, man. Good, bro. Hey, how am I a member already, bro? I don't know. You guys are not members in the chat. And them should be members already, man.
Yep. Hey, like I said, man, if you guys want to become members, it's there in it. Like,
I know, man's got bare content in the background waiting to show you lot, bro, and you don't want to see the content. I hear it, man. I hear it.
Yeah, wait, it's ready to load. Like, I've already got them pre-done anyway. But chat to us, bro. Obviously, we're near we're at the end. Obviously, if you've watched a little bit of the show earlier on, obviously we're just talking about midfield kind of profiles, options that people seem to want for the team. I'll ask you that question, and obviously we'll move on to Elliot. If you had to pick a midfielder profile that you feel Liverpool need moving forward, what kind of profile would you think that be? And is there a player that matches that same profile that you would like to have?
We need a destroyer, blood, in the midfield. I think last season I spoke about we needed a presence in the midfield, and that's why I was heavily trying to push the Thuram thing. And everyone's like, no, we don't need a Thuram. Lo and behold, Gravenberch is doing the job that I thought Thuram could come in and do, which is mad. He's in there with his tall, lanky self running around, running past people and making tackles and playing forward passes. But I think we need to add, and that's why the last couple of days I've been really, really pushing the Wataru thing. And I know he always gets thrown under the bus, and that's fine. I think everyone has their own opinion on the game. But I'm like, we need, especially going into this second half of the season, we need a destroyer in there. We need someone that's going to be in there just snapping away at heels. You can't turn. Do you look at him and like, nah? And he's a leader as well. You can see the man when he plays. You can feel that he has got a presence in the team. We don't use him enough, in my opinion, but that's neither here nor there. We need someone. We need someone that's gonna add the bite, bro. We got too many pretty, cute, silky dons in the team at the moment, bro. We ain't got no. And Wataru is that guy. He puts the gum shield on. He runs in clamps straight. He flies into someone.
Hold on. Quick question. Why does Endo wear a gum shield?
Bro, he's come into battle, bro.
Yeah. I always wonder.
But why though? Like I'm not seeing.
I remember he did talk about it. I remember he said he started young and he liked how it feels and the way it helps with his breathing, something like that. He said
it's like
that's soft, man. That's soft. No, I don't want to.
No, Jerry.
Yeah, my teeth.
There's a difference.
My teeth got knocked out. Now, once again, if he had said, "Oh, my teeth got knocked out, so that's why I'm wearing a gum shield," I'd be like, "Yeah, all right, cool, like it's a safety." Well, if he's saying, "Yeah, as a child, I put it in and it just felt good," in
certain countries, they force you to wear them. They force you to wear them.
Can I ask a question? Have you? I don't know if you guys have done this, but you know when you do a clenched fist, right? Yeah. I don't know if you've like tried to jab someone with a clenched fist. When you have a glove on, it's different.
Yeah.
Maybe that's when he puts the gum shield in. It's just different, bro. He's like, bro, man,
Look.
I'm gonna have to throw myself on the
I
floor.
got new powers and that, like.
Bro, in case he has to throw his face in front of something. I don't know, bro. Like that. Maybe it's his
again. I'm gonna go with the fact that, again, especially when you go play over in America. Sometimes when I used to play football a lot as a kid, when you go play down south in Maryland, there's a huge football culture down there. They make you wear mouth guard, or they make you wear them because, again, it's a safety thing. I think in certain countries at a young age, they make you wear them because of
American football or like football?
No, football. Actual football. They make you wear them also. They make you wear. It's a safety thing. And I think that they also have that kind of culture also in Japan. But again, I don't remember exactly why he likes them, but he did talk about something similar. He just like how they fit, they help him breathe and something like that, as I remember.
Michael Talks put something in there, some quotes from it. But for me, G, to the question, man, I want a destroyer now in there, bro. I feel like that's what we're now missing. McAllister can tackle, Gravenberch can tackle, Subbo can tackle, but there's man them that actually like to tackle. Wataru likes to tackle. We need one of them guys, the ones that prefer to just tackle, prefer to just win it and give it. We got too many man that's got too much ideas when they get on the ball, when they win it. Like, I can spray it there, I can turn here, I can play a little 1-2, I can put. There's too many man we got in the midfield. Oh, not overthinking it, but they can do more, so they want to do more. Nah, bro. That's why when Wataru plays, you watch his game. It's very simplistic, bro. He just gets it, plays it, steps in, wins it, plays it, runs around, out jumps people that's mad taller than him, steps in front of people when he. Honestly, man, that's what we need, bro.
Do you think, obviously, just a question here by the Awakened Phoenix, he's saying, do you think we can get a destroyer type of profile with the tech? I don't know who that is, but yeah.
You can, because a lot of the players now, they focus on a lot of technical ability, like the ones that are coming through. So you'd ideally be looking at someone around 23, 24, which they would have probably been stemming from the technical. But sometimes you just need a man that he's just a specialist in certain things, bro. Someone that's gonna go in there and win it, bro. And it's not. And now the disrespect is as if Wataru can't make a pass, bro. He can. He can play a pass. He can play, line splitting passes. He can spray the ball as well. I've seen him do it, but because he doesn't do it enough, it's not in front of your eyes. Or maybe he doesn't do it with the silkiness of a Trent. You're just like, yeah, he can't do it, man. He ain't got the levels, bro. Where Trent is adding that little extra sauce on it. But Wataru's like, nah, just clip it out there, man. Get that and bring it down and take him man on. I don't need to put no swaz on it. Just bring that down and take the man on. But yeah, I don't need someone with like, he's going to do a step over in there and bro, win that, play it, man.
Okay, because I know that this is a question that the man them are always talking about. Do you think then if we had a Thiago type of player, or no, if we just had Thiago in this team, do you think this team would be better in midfield?
Thiago's a baller, so it sounds like I'm going to diss him. I think he would be, but
doesn't mean you're going to diss him because he's
because you would have mad control because he ain't trying to, and he's got mad range of passing as well. Mm-hmm. But again, he's not a destroyer. He's not a destroyer. He's just he's a ball retainer type done, bro. He can retain it and he can play progressive passes, and he has the ability to beat with return as well, which is mad. But
yeah,
nah, man, I just think we need someone that's gonna sit in there, bro. We got too many like we got a double pivot, but McAllister, if you watch him recently, bro, this man is making runs into the box. He ain't a double pivot no more. He's a left-sided 8. He's making runs into the box. But we need someone to sit in, and that's why now, where before, you remember at the start of the season, we were still conceding chances, but it was controlled opposite chances. It was controlled. People were getting into good areas, but we had enough people and we were controlling what they were doing. Now they're getting in there, but we don't have it under control. That's why we're conceding these silly little goals.
Yeah. No, man. Oh, guys, last 10 minutes and then we'll be heading on out of here. So if you do have any questions, drop them in the chat.
I'm going to jump on audio, yeah? Quick one,
yeah? No, bro. We're going to leave anyway, so yes, come. But yeah, so obviously I kind of agree with what ENDZ is saying in terms of the type of player. I think for me, that type of player is like a Bruno Bruno Guimaraes. I think he's the type of player that if you could get all in one, him or Tonali, whichever one that you want to pick between, I couldn't really care less. If you can get one of those two, I feel like that's the type of player that would actually be best in our team, because it would have the I can't remember who it was asking about. You can have your guy who can break up play, but they've also got the technical ability about them in order for them to spray the pass, but they can keep it simple. I think more Tonali, for me, I feel like if you ask him to keep it simple, he'll keep it simple. Whereas Guimaraes, I feel like this brother got too many ideas at times, and he could be a bit aggressive, like a McAllister. Still a top player, but if I had to pick between the two, I probably would look at someone like Tonali. I just think he's like the perfect kind of profile, for what we kind of need. Hakeem's asking the question: your best 6/DM ever for LFC?
It would be Fab. Mascherano was good, but Fab has been the best 6, bro. That Fab was ridiculous.
I know, but Mascherano, like, there were two different players, though. They didn't do the same things. Like, one was literally just break them up, whereas Fabinho, again, someone who had a bit more ideas about him, which is, let me spray a pass here and there. Let me go shoot. And, like, he had more ideas, as ENDZ is obviously saying about those kind of players. So I'll go with Mascherano, but I don't mind Fab. Like, Fab was also sick too. So
I'm a big fan of Vieira. Vieira was really good.
Say that again.
Vieira. Someone else.
It's for Liverpool. He's for Liverpool.
Yeah, for Liverpool.
For Liverpool.
Yeah.
Well, that's why am I blanking on his name? I feel like it's another Thiago. What's his name?
Mascherano.
Not Thiago Alcantara.
Mascherano.
No. What's his name? He's a coach now. Was the coach of Bayern Leverkusen? What's his name? Why am I blanking on his name?
Xabi Alonso.
Xabi Alonso. Yeah. Xabi Alonso.
Listen, man, it depends on what you're looking for in a thing. But yeah, for me, it would just be Mascherano. I feel like that's the kind of DM I like anyway. This whole ball playing type of thing, I'm like, you man just be inventing positions and that. Like, just call them over.
Some mad names. Some of these names I need to, brush up on, bro. There's some
the reason why
I'm like, yo, what does his job role in the game, bro? Bare stuff. I'm like, nah, just call him a DM.
The reason, do you know who we got to blame for this? It's the Brazilian. It's the fault of the Brazilian. Imagine, I don't know if you remember when the Brazilian in 1998 had Rivaldo. I'm blanking out on their names. Rivaldo, Ronaldinho, and then what's the third man? Or Kaká in the midfield. So they're the ones who ruined it. They're the ones who brought that idea in football. So
I will agree with that. They were probably first to kind of confuse you with positions. But I think in terms, if you're going to go down the route of ruin, I actually think it would be Spain, purely because
Spain went way
they changed what you believed a player should do in certain positions, i.e., back in the day, do you think Busquets is the type of I'm not trying to have some skinny don who all lightweight in the midfield and can pass a full football, brother. As my DM, when I've got Makaleles and the Essieans of this kind of world, like the Gucci, like all of these type of players that they would have had obviously before Busquets obviously came in. When he's then come in, I feel like people now change what they almost want from a DM almost, because you see how Rodri's like the best player, quote unquote, the best player, Ballon d'Or winner and all of that in the world. He's the best midfielder in the world, right? He kind of falls into that same category as a Busquets in terms of the type of player that he actually is, which is he's not really there to break up play, so to speak. Like, he isn't putting in lunging challenges on a consistent basis, but what he will do though is he'll intercept. And once he does that, he moves off into different positions. He moves into that position, this position, and he can also get back and help out defend, in the spaces and stuff like that. So I start to think, then we all start looking at midfielders and think, bro, if my DM could do that. And I feel like it's Spain, like, with Sergio Busquets, Xavi, Iniesta, playing with a false 9, Like, bro, who cared about false nine before? Bro, you had one striker or two strikers. There was no false nine. There was what's the full? You tried to tell that to me 10, 15 years ago. Yeah, so you're gonna play like a half, brother. Am I up front or not? Like, I just need to know, am I here or not, bro?
That's
I'm not.
why the man never confused now, bro. Because they're like,
Yeah.
no, I just play in this position. Now you're telling me I need to add added jobs to this role, like,
bro, inside forward
and scoring. No, and said, nah, you have to drop to the halfway line. Sometimes you have to pull wide and allow the right-sided 8 to drift into that space.
To drift.
Like, bro, I'm a striker. I want to make that run. No. But trust me, tactically it'll work. Just drop in, pull out.
Well,
I'm like, all right.
Well, what happened to Forest, right? And they didn't get bait. You know, Diaz will come and pick up the ball in the midfield or in on top of the box, and they were just staying compact into their line, and then they just let him. Okay, you moving out. You're not in danger. You're not causing us danger by moving out. The danger comes in as in if I follow you. If I don't follow you, there's no danger, and that's how 𝐒𝐁𝐄 was out of position and create danger, and then we got score on, right?
This is it, man. And a quick question, actually, I didn't ask you, actually, to be fair. The discussion that we was just having before we head on out of here. Do you think, and this is, I guess, more for the future, more than anything, in regards to Harvey Elliott, you think he has a future at the football club, or do you think, nah, it's probably time, you know?
I know
if he's not going to be playing, or do you think he should be playing? I don't know. I don't know where you stand.
I think he should. Listen, it's going to be difficult because I feel like we're now in a situation where if someone doesn't play, means they dropped, and that's, for me, it's not. I think each game you should have a different idea how tactically you can set up, and it might mean the different personnel. Each game doesn't require a Szoboszlai. Each game doesn't require McAllister. Each game might even require a grab. Like, do you know what I mean? It's so much, but obviously when players are in form, you have to play them. Harvey, we know, and we've seen when the game gets stretched, Harvey can operate in those spaces and he will create chances for the forwards to score. We've seen him do it. The problem is we have to trust him to do that. The longer it takes, the more names gets mentioned, fan base is going to get like, no, yeah, we can get this guy. If you're telling me you're going to go and get me a Florian Wirtz or a Musiala, I will be fine. I'll swallow that. Pause. I'll take that and go, right, he has to go on. He has to move somewhere else where we'll get game time. But if you're telling me that's not none of them man there, and you just throw in a random Donny and telling me, yeah, no, man, my man can, yeah, he can play in the 10 as well. I'm like, no, he can't play in the 10. He's a left winger. If you're telling me to get someone in because they can do that, then I can't be bothered, bro. Just give him the opportunity. Give him the opportunity, and you can. Maybe he's losing his confidence, and he's openly said, "I want to play in the 10." I've seen the quotes, bro. Slot said, "Yeah, he's asked me. That's the position he wants to play in." But if you're not going to trust him, then what's the point? Like, do we need him again? Do we need Szoboszlai against Brentford? Maybe, based on the runners they got, and then man there in midfield and Norgard and that. But you're telling me when the game gets stretched, Harvey can't come on in the 10.
No, I don't disagree. Yeah, I thought he should have come on against Nottingham Forest the other day.
Game got stretched.
I think the last 7 minutes, I could see it. The last 7 minutes, yes, but I don't think around 75 that we should have make that switch.
And that's why I said as well, Carl. Sorry to cut you off there.
No, it's all right.
When I keep pushing about playing Wataru in there, it's like I'm not saying it because I just want to give this guy. I can just see what's going on currently in the team. And I'm like, if you play a Wataru, it frees up someone in the 10. If you want to use McAllister in there, because now McAllister can just solely focus on what? Popping up into little pockets of space, turning, and just killing teams with his passes.
Okay, I see what you mean. That's what you mean.
Into those position and kill teams with
because you have someone who's just sitting back there. He's not part of he's not part of it. Yeah. But that's again, you can't ask Gravenberch to do that because his football is smart. He's reading everything, and then he's gonna get adventurous in trying to create something. While Endo is like, no, I don't need to be part of this. Let me just sit there, and then anything that comes or try to come here, I'm killing it. And I think that's a valid reason. That's a valid point, man.
Some games doesn't necessarily require certain things. It's like we just treat some of the guys that sit on the bench as if they're just invalids, bro, and they can't play football. It's like they can just play them, bro. Like not every game requires a side. Not every game even requires a Mo Salah, bro. Like sometimes we can put him and bring him. Not every game requires a Gakpo or a Diaz. Not every game requires maybe the defense though. That's probably the only one that we have to keep.
Again, around last year, he started. Around last year he started, and then we were winning. We were winning until March, obviously, until we fall off.
Harvey was one of our most informed player at the back end of that season. When every time he came off the bench, he scored or assisted, or he was creating opportunities for us.
Yeah,
but for some reason he's not getting the opportunity, and I get it because obviously he fell down in a pecking order because he was injured. Obviously, the manager has identified other players and they're doing well, so it's going to be hard for him to get in.
But Eds, I also understand why the manager don't put him in, also, right? Because of his philosophy of how he wants to play football. He wants you said it. We all have seen it. It's a more ball playing, more players were able to break down a defense with their passing or with their ability to carry the ball. I think he does lack some of the tools to be starting, and I think we cannot also not say that in slot vision.
But I think the only tool, and I think we have to be very specific here, the only tool he lacks is the defensive side. Is he aggressive enough? Is he strong enough? That's it. If you're talking about when we're attacking, he plays for Liverpool Football Club. We are a team that massively amount of the games we're going to have the football. Apart from when we play the bigger teams.
I do think he's a bit too conservative. I do see sometimes he takes time to not to. I think he reads it. I just think sometimes he's too cautious of the pass, and then he goes backward again. He goes backward.
No, he's only cautious when the movement isn't right. Whenever the movement is right, that's why I disagree. When it's right, he will create. He will put the ball in. He'll be cute.
I think you and I would have to sit down and you show me that, because I do feel like at times I'm feeling like, yo, pass it, trust your ability. Trust your ability.
Yeah, but that's why last season, I don't, because if you're basing it off of the season before last, then fine, we could probably sit down and find him. But last season he wasn't doing that. Last season, that's why when he came off the bench, he scored or he was assisting when he was stepping off the bench. He made an impact in the game because he wasn't being reserved and because he wasn't going backwards. He didn't finish on more. I'm sure he was the only midfielder that finished on double figures in terms of assists last season, and he still had a few goals as well in there. So that shows to me that he's not playing backwards, he's playing forwards and he's playing progressive football. But as I said, I only see the only thing that people are saying about Harvey is the defensive side. But we're Liverpool Football Club. We have the ball. So you're telling me we can't just trust him to make a couple of tackles if need be? Is that what we're saying? We can't trust him to do that. If that's crazy to me, bro.
That's what Jerry was saying. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I was saying that if we had a straight out and out six, like an Endo, like an Elliot would have to kind of stick to his position, and Endo sticks to his position, and then everyone kind of sticks to their position.
Sorry, Jerry, we're not hearing anything.
It might be higher, but then he's all over the place. McAllister's
much better.
He's gone again. I get the gist of what he's saying, though. That Matara has to stick to his position in it, but that's what I'm asking for. That's what I'm actually, because what happened in the first half of the season doesn't mean it's going to work in the second half, and I can see little things that's happening where I'm like, no, we can stop this now, bro. We can stop this. Try it and see what happens. We try it and it doesn't work, then that's fine. Well, or we can continue down the path that we're going at the moment, where we start the year with 1 win and 2 draws and a loss. Or we can.
G kicks me out.
Nah, you're breaking up.
Kick you out, bro. Like my hands have been hitting this whole time. Like.
Yeah, you're breaking up. But yeah, Jay, I heard what you said though about Ouattara would have to stick into his position and then.
Yeah, because what I was saying is that. Yeah, exactly. But I don't think that's how Slot sees football. I think right now anyway, I think the way he's seeing it, he wants. If you look at that profile of Jones, Szoboszlai, McAllister,
That is tough, man. That is tough, Jerry. All right, man.
You know them man there that got them dead networks in the UK, bro. So Lamar and them, man.
All right, have a great day, guys.
Hey, Jerry, bro, like
players that like
and got them Lamar and that.
Hey, you there, Jerry?
I told you, bro.
they could play.
Nah, kick him out, G, bro. There's no point, bro.
Hey, Jerry, man, your thing is moving mental, bro.
Yeah, man can't hear you, bro, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the things, but either way, I'm gonna wrap it up anyway. But listen, look, I think all in all, for me, I just look at it and think to myself that I just believe that maybe he's going to need to trust this squad a little bit more between now and the end of the season in terms of players like Elliot. I know, listen, guys, I'm not saying we've got to fuck with these players. Like, it is what it is, really and truly, with these guys, right? But at the bare minimum, we've got these players here. So from when we've got these players here, you might as well just use them. Do you know what I mean? Like, you may as well put yourself in a position to just use them. And also, it gives them a bit more trust. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, at least then they have the confidence that, oh, you know what? The manager does trust me. He does feel like, you know, he can depend on me in certain moments. So with that being said, I can come in for a few games. And I think people, that's why Man City at the time when they were rotating all the time, I feel like Pep put that belief into any player and just said, it doesn't matter if you're on the bench today because for the next 2 games you might play and the other guy might sit on the bench, but he might come on. He gave everyone the belief that you can all be a part of what's kind of going on. I just worry a little bit at times with like more Endo, because Endo's not been injured like Elliot has, and Elliot has that excuse of being injured, right? But I just feel like with like Endo, I'm like, yeah, but you're not even giving man any minutes like towards end of games that we need to maybe hold on to a lead and stuff. I'm like En said about the type of player that Endo is, he would have been perfect to come on in certain games, like games where you just think, bro, just bring this type. Like, this is the perfect scenario for an Endo. Perfect. He doesn't mind picking up a yellow card. He doesn't mind, you know, putting in a tackle when maybe we're potentially getting bullied and, you know, et cetera, right? That's like, that's what he would be there for these type of moments. And at least he would then know in his head before he even comes on in games, okay, this is my job. This is what I need to do. Instead, you're giving man the dibby dabby minutes. And I'm just like, bro, like, then you're wondering why he might not necessarily be up to speed, you know, so to speak, you know, kind of thing. So I don't know, man. Like, obviously, I get it. Everyone wants signings, right? I get it. We all want players. We all want to sign this guy and that guy. And I hear it. And I'm not even trying to say, no, don't sign players. But if we're not going to sign players, I beg you start using the squad just a little bit more. Just a little bit more, man. Because I don't really want all of these guys to just be sat there and it's just, you know, just looking a bit kind of crazy for them when they do kind of come on. But yeah, man. But those are big up ENNY, by the way, man.
Big up ENNY, bro.
Those were players that Pep recruited, Slot hasn't recruited. And yeah, I know. So I do think as well that he's got his trusted players that he knows, okay, these guys can carry out what I need the team to do at any given moment in time. Like, or these are the only players I've got, I feel that can carry out, you know, these instructions, right? So that's why I feel like the Elliots, the Kwanzas, the Endos, Morton is in fucking don't know where. Like, these players, they just won't play that much because I don't feel that he really believes these are the guys that are going to realistically help him out. It's more needs must. Oh, we've got a cup game. I know Carl mentioned about, oh, but he rotates players. I'm like, yeah, it's a cup game. Like, he's going to rotate players in that anyway. I'm talking more week in, week out, whether it's the Premier League, whether it's the Champions League. Do you trust these players? Forget the cups, because it doesn't matter who you trust. That's just a cup game. Premier League champs, do you trust them? We'll wait and see. We've got a second half of the season to go. So things might change.
Can I just add this quickly? I find when we do rotate the team, I find it more exciting. I think they play a bit more exciting, a bit more freer as well. I don't know if you've noticed it, but when we play the normal lot, it feels so structured. I just know what they're gonna do. Like, he's gonna play, he's gonna get here, roll it out to Mo. If you can't dribble him, he'll set it back to Trent. Trent will quick cross it, or Mo will play it into one of the midfielders. They're gonna spray it out to the left back. Or if Trent gets it, no pass on, he's gonna play it back to Virgil. Virgil's gonna give it to Mac. He might turn or give. But when you play with the other dons, bro, I don't know what they might do.
Yeah, it's true. It's true because you ain't seen it. You don't see
it. Yeah, you don't see it. But yeah.
No, it's nah, man. I agree. I totally agree. Like them Europa League games at times that was watching last season. At times, you know, when you don't know, like, oh, okay, so this brother can. Oh, okay, and then you start to form like your own, like a little opinion on this kind of player because you're like, oh, so in these games, I used to feel like last season. Yeah, I used to think that like we would play better in the Europa League with the fringe players than we would do with the senior players in the Premier League, for example. Because I used to always think, as you said, it's so structured that if I know what you're going to do, I'm pretty sure that the professionals who get paid to do what they do, they know what you're going to do. Whereas the Europa League, remember, we didn't know about Endo. We didn't know about what Gravenberch could do. Elliot playing these games. Like, man didn't know about Kwanzaa was getting minutes. That's how Kwanzaa was getting better. He was getting minutes in there. And you're like, no, you know what? Kwanzaa's actually solid on the ball, you know. Now he's starting Premier League games. Now he's scoring goals.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like things started to change kind of thing. Whereas the first team, as you hear, and said it here, he literally said it there, bro. Like, I know what, from kickoff, I knew what we was always going to do. Pass it back, launch it usually to the left-hand side more time.
Yeah.
Like whoever the left winger was, he would try battle. They would never win it. It would go out for a throw.
Yeah, then they would have the ball. You're like, why don't we just keep it, bro?
Bro, why don't we just keep it, bro? Like, why don't you just keep the ball, bro?
Can I ask? I think that's another show. I'm not even going to ask you because we'll be here for another hour.
No,
but you know the other thing is, you know the other thing. All right, I'll come back to that one. But there was something I was thinking about when we were saying off the cuff yet. Like, kids are getting the ball and just hitting one from outside the box here to score his goal. None of them, man, they would have recycled it and gone wide to Mo or gone wide to Diaz. The man them in front of him won't be shooting. I think the only one with a shot is how he actually shoots when he gets in front of them.
He does.
But Kiesa just went touch and I went, oh, okay, I'm just gonna shoot. And he goes in. I'm like, bro, you know how many times we see our players get there and they go, yeah, do you know what? I'm gonna go wide, you know, I'm gonna play it that way, and then all come back. And I'm like, why don't you just shoot?
Yeah, it's
yeah, but that long ball, bro, makes no sense to me, man. I've always wanted. I know why they do it because you want to get up the field, in it. You go right, hit it long. If we can win the flick on or we can win the knockdown, we will be in a good position. I'm like, why don't we just don't run into their half and keep the ball,
bro? Honestly, ENNY, I'm with you. Like it, you know, when it irks me when we do that, but it's like. I think it irks me more because I know why you're doing it. So I'm like, I know why you're doing it. I just don't like it. Like, for me, you've just given the possession to the opposition because we have never...
What the kickoff thing?
Yeah. I'm tired of that. I'm tired.
But do you know what it is?
No, Jerry, I don't even want to hear the statistical, the tactical reason.
No. I'm never going to say that. You see, if your team that was the press, right? And you put teams under the cosh. Remember what happens, right? If you go and try to play out, and you start that kickoff and you go back, that's a negative pass straight away. It's just called a negative pass because you're playing backwards. As soon as that happens, if a team goes out and presses you and you're not good enough or comfortable enough to do what City do, which is, we're going to keep it pop, and we're straight into their game, you almost want to do what you're best at. Now, Liverpool, they're best at pressing, man, innit? So what we do, we pump it into the corner, right? And there, even if you win it, we're going to win the ball back. And Liverpool...
But Jerry, we never win it, though. We never ever win this thing.
No, but we want the opposition to have the ball to win it high up, innit? Because Real Madrid do the same thing, you know?
Okay, Jay, can I ask you a question? What is the difference here in exactly what you just mentioned? What is the difference when Virgil has the ball? Say they just kicked it long to us and Virgil has the ball compared to we kick off and we give it to Virgil. What is the difference? So instead of kicking it long, we go back to Virgil. We just pass it back to Virgil. What is the difference between Virgil's just on the ball and we're structured in there? There's no difference, bro. We can still keep the ball. You trust the man them to pop it about. We don't have to be Manchester City, bro.
The difference is as soon as that happens, remember, they don't...
Yeah, I'm saying they don't even want to hear what you have to say, bro. Yeah, because it's probably better for us because now they're going to come out, which creates more space. If we can go into the midfield turn, there's space in behind that to play. Instead of us, their whole team is in that one half. Our whole team is in that half. And then we're trusting a flick down, which we never win. And then it always goes out for a throw-in. And then they have the throw, and then we're all dropping back. So what was the point of us all bombing forward then, bro?
You know what's crazy, yeah? I actually think, now, obviously, we're just talking about this. I'm not actually thinking, I actually think, yeah, that it almost galvanizes the opposition more when we do that anyway in games, in terms of where obviously both teams should be anyway, because you've just started a game, right? But both teams are fresh, and there's obviously you're coming into the match and whatever. But obviously where they're coming up against Liverpool are a team I feel naturally take a little bit of time to get into the game because of their game plan, which is the whole pressing and all of that. Whereas the oppositions that we're coming up against, they don't really, obviously they don't play the same way as Liverpool. They're not as intense as a Liverpool. So I feel like we're almost playing more into their hands when we give them the ball, and we're saying almost, here's you at your best, fresh in the game, first couple of minutes or first 5-10 minutes, go do whatever it is that you do. And we're still trying to get that level of intensity. Now, if you don't come up against a team who are giving you that intensity back, i.e. Nottingham Forest or someone, Fulham or these kind of teams, if they're not giving it to you back, remember, it's going to keep taking Liverpool time to get to that level. Hence why our first halves are always looking like mediocre, or the players look a bit lackluster, and then boom, second half, the team just fires out because now you've had a whole 45 minutes to get to that stage. So I can't lie, like, I'm starting to listen. I don't know, and this is just me probably reaching, but I feel like there is a correlation in that. Is that's the one of, I would say, common denominator when we start these games, is that we will do that, pass the ball back, kick it forward. Any even said it, you might as well just put Konaté left wing. I would prefer that. Even just do something different.
Konaté, like, you run and then grab you just sit in for him for a second. Let him go and win the knock on.
Do you know what I'm pro? Like,
if we win that knock on with everyone in their half, bro, I don't know how we end up scoring from there, bro. We score from that, then the team is shit in it. Because what happens is we lose the ball, they throw it into someone, and we've pushed everyone taking their little slow ass time to get back. They throw it in, knock it inside, and spray it to the other side. Because guess what? We got a right back tucked in, the right wingers all the way up the field. So when they spray it to the other side, now we're chasing back. I'm like, so why don't we just do it?
I feel like there's a correlation, bro. Like, you got to realize this has been going on for so long that it's like there has to, obviously, I'm probably chatting shit and I don't know, but I just feel like when you do that, I get why, but it doesn't seem to work ever. It seems to rarely work. Let me not say ever.
When was the last time we scored from kickoff?
Okay, I don't know when the last time we scored.
No, tell me when we scored from kickoff, bro. That first minute.
No, ends we don't. But the question is, what do you think the reason is why we do that, though?
Bro, we want to obviously get the ball as further up the pitch as possible. So if we can win the knockdown, we're closer to goal.
It's not about the knockdown. It's not about the knockdown, though.
But it has to be.
No, it isn't. They hear an angle, even if it goes out for, they even prefer it to go out for a throw-in, right? Reason why they want it to go out for a throw-in in their half is that now what happens is that team's under pressure to go and play, and especially against teams where they're not good on the ball like that, we're comfortable. The team trust that we can.
Okay, can I ask you? Okay, that's fine, and I know that's the old way of how football works, because every team has done it since the start of football. But I'm saying they come back to that is throw it to someone and they smash it upfield. So what was the point?
But then what happens is that when they give the ball away, right? Remember, when you start a center, you guys are like dead, or even a kickoff, like you're more or less in the center of the pitch. Everyone's equal, right? What you've done, you've pushed the team back. If they smash it up and you get the ball in, now they're all in their half. Whereas if you go and play at the back and you play back to Virgil and start playing, their team's on you, so you're playing in your half. So technically, you're not. You're keeping. No, but we haven't got the players to do that. That's my point.
No, we do, bro. You can't tell me Trent is one of the best passers. McAllister is one of the best in terms of ranges and whatever.
But
a man can't tell me that. Diaz is one of the best dribbler. Mo Salah is one of the strongest players. I ain't hearing that.
But there's a difference. This
one. The man that must shook is what you're telling me from kickoff.
But when I was telling people about, I've been saying I don't think McAllister is as good as I thought he would be. I don't think he was the player I thought he would be. I thought he would be like a Javi Alonso. He's not that. He's decent. He's calm. He's like a 7 out of 10 at doing everything. He's not an outstanding passer of the ball like Javi. He's not an outstanding passer of the ball like Javi Alonso. And I don't mean long passing. I mean weight of pass, punching it in, dictating tempo. We haven't got players like that. Hence why we're playing Gravenberch in there, because it's like, at least he can go and get on the ball on a half turn and he can dribble and stuff. We ain't got players like that. So if you're trying to play that way, we ain't got Gundogan and flipping Rodri on the pitch. We haven't. We've got McAllister, Jones, and Szoboszlai or McAllister. Like, it's a massive difference.
Can I show you the difference? Can I show you the difference, right? Not every team in the Premier League now does that against us. We're one of the only ones I see do that. Yeah, I was watching when they take if a team comes to Anfield and they take kickoff, these men are going backwards and then they might opt to go long, but they'll keep it. They're not gonna just smash it into a corner. We've got, bro, the last time, I don't know if we're gonna do it this time, and I probably hope we do so we can see it. We've got the 3 midfielders on the halfway line, you've got the 3 attackers on the halfway line, and we set it back to 𝐾, and then he just hoofs it into the channel. Yeah, like, and then we've gone over there to outnumber them into that pocket of space, and that's fine. Obviously, we want them to play from there. But I'm saying, logically, if the team throws it to one of their fullbacks and he smashes the ball downfield, what is the difference between that and us just setting it back to Virgil and we keep it?
No, but that's what I'm saying. You are playing in their half. The idea is you want to go in as quickly as possible. You want to assert dominance.
Yeah, but they've cleared it into our half, so that defeats the objective of what we want to do.
Because when they clear it into our half, right? Think about it. Everyone's gone. You've got 𝐾. Well, what's happened is that we've got kickoff, right? Our centre mids aren't like waiting and gallivanting in the midfield. They're getting ready to run into a certain channel, right? So they're already running towards a certain channel. So they're already making that run there. Defenders have to track that runner because if they don't, there's a ball over the top and you can't have that. So the whole team has to drop back. The whole team has to drop back.
I know this, but I'm saying if the guy clears it, because obviously the furthest man back normally is Ibu and Virgil, right? When we played it, when we do it. If they smash the ball over Virgil's head, right, that means no matter what they've just done, the accomplishment of trying to play in that half is now we have to reset anyway. Because now Alisson has to come and get it.
But it's the distance end. Because I agree with what you're saying, but the distance, they're not smashing it from. Let's say ideally we're playing it into their like right back's area, like their corner, in behind their right back, right? When they smash it, they're not smashing it over Virgil's head. 9 times out of 10, they're smashing it into Virgil. Virgil then wins it and brings it down, or worst case scenario, it goes over Virgil's head, but Alisson stepped up now. He wins it, and now we're playing in their half straight away off the bat. Whereas obviously, and I'm not saying I agree with it necessarily, but I get it, because if you're a team and you want to go and just play at the back straight away, what happens is that first pass is going to be backwards. The next pass might be sideways, but this third pass is always going back. And then what happens 9 times out of 10, even like a Forest, they'll get in and Ole Einar just smashes it up the field. But when he's smashing it up the field now, you're smashing it up the field into the halfway line. So you're giving away possession. That way, what's happening is you're trying to assert your strength and your stronghold inside their half straight away. I don't think we've got the players to go and do what Barca and City do and have done in the past.
No, but I agree, and I know exactly why we want to do it. Yeah, but I just like, can we just change it, because it's not effective. Can we just change it? Because you're telling me smash it up there. We're trying to play their half. Cool. It's unsettled them. If Virgil wins it, then Mo's probably free. Trent might be free because now that whole side, the right hand side, is free because we've dragged everyone to one side. Perfect. How often does that work though? How often do we score in the first minute? How often do we even score in the first 5 minutes?
No, that's true. That thing is true, because again, I'm talking about that Klopp style of play. With Slot, you want more of a patient build-up. So maybe it's a mix of both. I don't know.
That's the man, isn't it? He's saying that them can't get shook, bloody. Play it into me the first couple.
But they are. Look what McAllister was doing. No. Hold on. Let's go back to the Newcastle game and let's go back to the Forest game. Look at McAllister on the ball. He's giving the ball away, and you're telling me this is the best person we've got on the ball. Look how he's giving the ball away, like a hot potato, coming off his shins and stuff. Then snapping at man and then complaining that he's giving a foul away. He's not adept like that. He's not. He's Argentinian, bro. You know how Argentinians play. They ain't like, do you know what I mean?
I'm just having a look to see how many goals we've scored this season in the first 5-10 minutes. I'll see if I can find it.
Big up to ENNY as well. Button said, "Why go back and just draw the opposition into us and then leave space in behind, which is better for us."
What I'm saying, they don't press high though. This is the problem: is that when teams press, the front will press, but then what will happen is, and this is why I'm agreeing with ENDZ, we should have players that should be able to play through that. But the defense won't drop, so all that happens when you're doing it is just we're winning. There's no spacing by it. It's not like against City where them man are pressing us and the whole team's getting high. You have like couple of midfielders will press, the forward line will press, but the defenders are expecting that ball to come in anyway, and then they just win it because we've got no one to win the balls in the air.
It's like we're
you have to overhit the pass.
Yeah, it's like we're scared to build from the back instead from the start of the game. And I'm sure when I'm watching the other teams, they don't flash it into the channels, bro. They actually go back and then try and build, and then we try and press them. And then when we try and press them, they just pass through us, and then I'm just like.
But do you know what it is though? Maybe it's because they don't want to get hit on transition, innit? They don't want to. They want to go back because they want to be in that low block, innit? So they want to open up the space in behind because they know you're going to press, whereas you're not going to leave players back. Whereas if they go and do you know what I mean, and step forward and all press higher, it would just be mad because the game's going to be a transition game. No team wants that against Liverpool. So if you look at Forest, I remember they went back. I think they got the ball. I don't know what half was. They got it. And then they were passing it about a bit, but it just went backwards. Ola Aina got it and just hoofed it up the pitch. But then they just lost the ball. But that's calm for them because they don't want the ball. But if you want the ball, do you know what I mean? I don't know. I just don't think the midfielder like that.
No. See, you know what's mad? So I'm looking at the stats here. We've conceded the most, so it's 5 goals in the first 15 minutes of games. That's the most across any denomination. So it's 0 to 15, 15 to 30, 30 to 45, so on and so forth. Right?
Yeah.
It's the first 15 minutes of a game that we actually conceded the most amount of goals, which is 5. The next is 4 after that, which is between the 30th and the 45th minute. Actually, between the 30th and 60th minute, that's where we concede most of our goals. And in terms of scoring goals, it's our lowest in terms of scoring. It's only 3 in the first 15 minutes. So the next best is 8, which is between 15 and 30. And then our highest point is 60 to 75 minutes. That's where we've scored 10 goals this season in between that kind of margin. So yeah, we don't score that much basically in the first 15 minutes of games. We've only scored 3 goals in that time.
So we not only if we go backwards and try and keep the ball, not only will we try and nullify conceding them goals, but we can also add them 3 into the 15, so we'd end up scoring more goals because we've now kept the ball. That could be a fix, bro. That could be. That
100%. It could be a fix. It could be a fix because again, that's where Liverpool are getting caught out in it. If you look against Forest is just. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's out of position because we're trying to play in their half, and then you lose the ball. One pass, they're through and they score in it, and it's like, well, yeah, I don't know. It's a weird one. Like I get why you're doing it, but then it's like if you're conceding goals in the first, you got to think about everything in it, about how you're starting the game. Even like just going out and pressing players. Maybe you just sit off a bit in it. Maybe you sit off and allow them to come onto you. But I don't think we do that. I think we still try to step a bit higher, and I don't know. It's weird. It's weird.
Maybe you know what. All of this might change once. Obviously, we don't know. He might just keep the same players next season and run it again. But if he doesn't and he starts to maybe I just feel like he wants a player that he can say, this is my guy for my system, for what I want to do. I feel like once he gets like 1 or 2 of those guys in, maybe we can start doing that kind of football. Because I feel like he's got the essence of it there, but where you're still trying to weed out some of the clockness and that you still got in the team. Which is obviously, bro, we got the exact same team as last season, bar Chiesa. Like they're gonna do the same shit in certain moments. And he's spoken about. I remember at the beginning of the season, he said it about us going a bit too fast forward. Playing that pass when you don't actually need to play the pass. Sometimes the risk doesn't outweigh the reward in these kind of situations. Whereas we know with the previous manager, it did. So maybe again, I don't know. It's just funny to see. Like when I'm looking at, I'm like, bro, like. That's one of them things you just think, I bet you do something a little bit different. But listen, man, I'm not here to question the manager. He's the one who get paid the big bucks anyway to do what he's doing.
What's the odds on then, G? You think we go long from kickoff against
1,000,000%?
Oh, against Brentford, we'll definitely do it. Against Brentford.
No, but they got bare 2 dons, bro. We got long against them.
I feel like we'll just do it.
Bro, it's not about winning the header, innit? They want to go and make the ball 50-50. They don't care about. But Diaz is not winning the header, or Salah's not winning the header against whoever.
Salah's definitely not winning the header.
Exactly. But what it is that, or even Pinnock, he's not like Diaz is not going to win that. But what he's going to do is stretch Pinnock over onto one side. He then heads it into the air, or has to head it out for a throw-in, and then we're straight away in their half, and then we can keep it. Or he heads it into no man's land, and we should be winning the second ball. And that's the way Liverpool have always played.
Or how about how about instead of having all their players in one half, we draw them onto us, which will then create distances, and then we can then have less players in their half.
If they come in it, but if they just go and stand on the halfway line, no, but if they just come in, then Mbeumo just stands on the halfway line and just waits in it, just looks at Robertson like, yeah, what are you gonna do? And
but then we can set up. Then we can set up. We can push our midfield, push up. But then we have the ball to then look at what we need to do instead of doing this whole.
But ends. That's the problem. We struggle to break down teams though. We're transition FC, so we need the game in transition to kill you. How are we gonna make it in transition? Yeah, we're gonna go long. Even if you go and play that long ball over the top, and we've got run back, you man are gonna get excited. You're gonna try and run out and break and counter us, and we're gonna counter you.
No, I hear it, man. I hear it.
I'm just looking at the.
And be like, yeah, we're gonna. No. That's not Liverpool.
I hear it, bro.
I'm just looking at the odds. Like, I wonder if you like. Can I bet that? Like, it's like 2 minutes or something. Like, do you think I could?
Do we go long from a goal kick, bro? It's mad. And then with this one,
all I need is throwing. Like, if I can get the time, like range, like okay, a throw-in will be.
What would be funny because I know all three of us and guys in the chat watching. We'll be waiting for that moment. It will go back to Virgin who put his foot on it. He'll be like, okay.
Yeah. This will be the game where he puts his foot on it, looks up, pass. Now we're popping the ball about, and we're going to be like, so what was the whole point, of this?
Or Jerry will be laughing if we go long, someone knocks it down here, and then we spray it to Salah, and then he whips one in the top corner. He'll be like, see, this is what I told you, man.
What I'm saying is Virgil's not the one to hoof it. It will be Konaté.
It'll be Konaté,
It'll be Konaté. It'll be Virgil put his foot on the ball and you set it to Konaté and Konaté goes, hoof. And then you just go and win the second.
You know what? This is going to be the first game that I think I would have ever watched where I'm actually going to be like, you're focused from kickoff. Like, I'm actually going to watch what you're doing from the kickoff, because that's going to be funny, man. Last question, and then obviously we'll head out. Big up goal ratio. He's asking us, is 𝐒𝐔 any good against low blocks? He himself, no, but I mean, is it really down to the striker to be good against low blocks? I think it's always one of them ones, isn't it? Like, it's about the team, really and truly, what the team can do to get 𝐒𝐔 into the right positions. And he's someone who likes to drift out wide anyway. If he's not getting the ball, for example, he'll drift out wide. He's good at taking on players anyway, so there's always that chance for him to take on a guy down the left-hand side and put the ball in the box for a Gordon or whoever's in the middle of the pitch. So, yeah, he's one of them ones. I don't know any striker who's good against a low block like that. Maybe like Harry Kane. Yeah, maybe like someone like that.
I think exactly what you said, though, to be fair. If I think I trust him enough if we get one chance to bury it.
Yes.
In terms of that, I think that's what he'll be good at. But what he's going to realize is when you play for Liverpool, you don't have the luxury of loads of space all the time, bro. Exactly. Because 9 times out of 10, the teams that we're playing against are going to be more defensively aware. So they're not going to be as gung-ho as it would be against, say, you're playing at Newcastle. They'll be like, well, we'll just go toe-to-toe, innit? We know you got good players, but we believe we can beat you guys as well. But for us, they're like, stop Liverpool from scoring in the first 20, 25 minutes. If we can get a chance, get it. And then after that, if we do get it, we're sitting in an counter-attack. He's going to have to get used to that.
Don't worry about Liverpool in the first 10 minutes, though, innit? Like,
you know what? I've been watching that. I've been watching that Egyptian brother, a bit more since we're linked to him. I'm not gonna lie, man.
Who?
Marmoush?
Marmoush. Yeah.
Oh, Marmoush.
Yeah. That's like I think like the way what Slot would want is a striker that can do a bit of everything. That can drop in as a false 9, but can also go and score goals. And he's the only one right now in world football that I'm seeing that is doing it on a consistent basis, that has done, innit? So when I was looking at him, I was like, yeah, like he's scored. No, but he's not, because 𝐒𝐔's not dropping deep and in low blocks or in situations where and coming on the half turn, like turning, and he doesn't do that. He's get it to me, I'll pop it off. I get you, yeah, you can dribble and stuff, but against a low block, you need like a Bob, ideally a Bobby Firmino that can finish in it right now. That's what we need, a Bobby Firmino that can finish 20 goals a season. And at Marmoush, the types of goals he's scoring are varied, innit? it's tappings, a man scoring from outside the box, man's then doing Trevella passes into man, scoring free kicks. And when you look at that, you're like, yeah, that's probably, if you're looking at profile, it's like a Jota, but a bit cuter in those pockets, but that's available, and I think that's the profile. I think hence why we've gone with a Diaz more than a Nunes, because Diaz offers you the cuteness in the pockets, but he's not going to offer you the goals, and he's not going to try and get into the box. That Marmoush seems like it currently, like he's doing that. And I'm saying if City go and get him, I think it'll be a problem. It'll be a problem.
He's going City, by the way. But
I think the deal's already.
Yeah, he's done now. He's done.
Yeah. I was going to ask though, even on that, obviously we just saw Haaland sign like some 10-year contract and that.
Is that true?
Yeah. I just see it's on City's. They put a video out. Like
Haaland signed a 10-year contract.
Yeah, it finishes up in 9 years, so it finishes in 34.
And this loophole is still about there.
Of course, how are they going to stop you from signing a contract?
True.
Then man, they said, nah, he's going to be worth like 400 million, bro, in the next couple of years. So
it's not even that. You know what I find so interesting about this whole Man City thing, yeah? At this point, either one of two things is happening. I just saw The Athletic, by the way, today posted that Man City won't get any trouble. It'll just be a fine for the whole thing. And I was like, of course, they'll take a whatever fine. They couldn't give two shits about a fine. They can stay here, keep doing whatever it is they're doing.
Yeah, I realized that when they were signing players. I realized they're not.
Bro, they're still signing players.
They were signing players. I'm like, all right, you man just getting a fine. That's when I came to terms. I was like, all right, it's fine then.
It's true. It's true, bro. Like, and even on the Marmoush as well. Obviously, we never know how a player's going to do, right, in the league, and we have to wait and see what he does. Because if he can be even as good as Julian Alvarez, who I thought was still quality, just he wanted to play a bit more. So it is what it is. If they can get someone of that kind of quality, I feel like he will turn out to be a good player. Obviously, he's playing on the City. It's Pep, so there is that one side of it. But I'm just intrigued. Where do you play? Like, where are you gonna play? Like, it might not be position like, oh, he's a left winger or he's a number 10, but I'm interested to see the areas that he picks up. If I know Pep, this brother will just go back to, I don't know, who might do a
4-4-2 or something.
I was just about to say 4-4-2, and he'll say, you know what, man, we're chatting shit about Fergie time. All right, I'm going to do the same thing and I'm going to win. How about that?
Yeah,
or just do a 4-2-3-1, innit? Just do a 4-2-3-1 where you got Marmoush that can run left side of Haaland, right side of Haaland. You've got Foden that's out wide. They'll just do what they did before. They'll have their two midfielders in there, and they'll have another one of the wide players, Savinho, whoever.
Savinho.
Whatever. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then all of a sudden, you've got Marmoush that, again, this is what I'm talking about. He can play, he's a number 10, and you can play in the 10 and he's calm. But you can play him as a forward and he's calm as well. So it's like, now it's like, right, what do you do, innit? Like, he might just end up just standing right next to Haaland, but he might drop into the pocket. He might make a run in behind. All of a sudden, it's long. And then he's creating space for Foden and Savinho. Yeah, it's peak.
Bro, it sounds all peak, bro. Are you crazy? Because if this is the brother who finishes from outside the box, and which he had, but like obviously based off everything we've seen, and I didn't want to hype him up too much. I was like, I've only literally seen him this season, so I can't even even think about.
He's got it though. You can see he's got it.
But I know, you know, when I'm like, I know he's got it, but I have to see it first to really believe it for Man City anyway. If he does it for Manchester City, bro, like, then we were idiots for never going in for him. Like, I don't know why we didn't.
But the thing is, you're saying we're idiots for not going into him. But if someone said, would you want Liverpool to sign 𝐓𝐇𝐀𝐄 or Marmoush? You're saying nah. You're waiting for City to be like City to deal with it, for you to be like, Liverpool, why didn't you sign him? But more time, you didn't want him now. If Liverpool signed Marmoush, you'd be like, yeah, I'm not sure. You do a stream, you'd be like and ahhing, saying, look.
But I'm still and ahhing for Manchester City. Don't get it twisted, because the reality is I'm still questioning going to Manchester City playing under Pep Guardiola, brother. We've seen it. We've seen some of these players take a minute to even understand what the hell it is he's trying to get them to do. Like, it takes Jack Grealish a whole season, 2 years. Like, it takes these men time to get to grips of whatever he asked them to do. And obviously they're signing him in January. So I guess it's that kind of, we sign you now. We don't really expect much from you from this first half of the season, but you're more a next season signing. But you've had 6 months with us, plus now a pre-season, and then we can hit. you know, hit it
So
strong.
where he's been at Frankfurt, and he's like the main Donny as well, isn't it? When
Yeah.
you come into a Manchester City, you're a part of a squad now, big man. You're not the main guy. He has to find a way to impose himself on his team and then also impose himself on the Premier League. And that's where some players will struggle, because it's like before they used to just find, man, all right, the ball goes into me, I'm the guy. They just, you know, try and get them out of sticky situations. But now you're like, right, I got Haaland in there, you got Foden there, you got KDB still, you know what I mean, Bernardo Silva, Doku, Grealish, Savinho. You got bare man, bro, that's just about doing their thing. And then the added other players, they're trying to sign Juventus' left back as well. Like there's
I see that today.
Yeah, it's mad, bro.
It's peak. But you know what? We'll leave it there, guys. As always, big up to everybody in the damn chats. I'd like to say thank you to my co-host in ENDZ and Jerry and Carl for jumping in. ENDZ's channel is in the damn caption, so make sure you guys head on over there. As I stated before, people, we have now hit 2K, and big up to everybody who has helped me get to 2,000 subscribers. As I said before, the membership is now started, so please, I will drop the first video. I'll drop it on Monday. I'm just deciding what video to drop for you guys, because I want to start it with a bang. So yeah, on Monday, just make sure you guys wait for it. I will drop that video for you, and you will be redirected to ENDZ's stream later on this evening, 10 p.m. I believe. So guys, just make sure you just smash the like button. Hakeem, I like this. Yeah, I like this. Yeah. G3K, let's go. Yeah, I like the way it even looks as well. Yeah, I like that. We're gonna keep going with that one. We're gonna keep going.
Man, for the branding.
Yeah, the branding. You know what I mean? I've got to think about these things now. Do you know what I mean? If you see the three guys leaving, Kwanzaa is the close second centre back. You won't see me next season. Let's wait and see, guys. Let's wait and see, man. Let's wait and see what Liverpool end up doing. As I said, Enzo got the stream later, which I believe is the match preview.
Yeah, man. We speak about Donny that's apparently injured again. So yes, we'll get to it.
That's gonna be fun. If I'm about, I will be jumping in. I will be in the comments because
man's injured again, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah. All right. If he's injured again, let me go on social media right now and see the meltdown anyway, regardless, because I know everyone's cussing.
Big up my number 9, bro, because you know what I mean. If he plays, bro. Because the other guy don't want to play in it. So I mean, we'll take the stress, bro. We'll take the stress.
Yeah, boy. At this rate, just anybody, please, like just someone, like I beg. But yeah, guys, listen, I'll catch you guys soon. As I said, big up to everybody who's obviously been subscribing to the channel. If you do want to support, the link is there, guys. Do your thing. And yeah, Enzo will catch you back on his channel at 10 p.m. Make sure you guys stay tuned. Big up Jerry, big up Enz, big up Carl, big up chat. Peace.